Dude, America first! America first! Get that through your head! Dude, America first! America first! You heard that before? What? America first! America first! What the hell, man? Dude, America first! America first! To all of you, let me explain one damn thing. America, America, America. Dude, you understand? America, America, America. My point is America's first. America, America, America. What the hell, man? Globalists, no! Goblins, no! This is it. Everybody get ready! America first! America first! Get that through your head! Dude, America first! America first! You heard that before? What? America first! America first! Get that through your head! America first! America first! He trolled him. He baited him. He trolled him. He baited him. He trolled him. He baited him. I wish I was that smart. See, that's the Trump dimension. That's the Trump dimension. He trolled him. That's the Trump dimension. He baited him. That's the Trump dimension. He trolled him. That's the Trump dimension. That's the Trump dimension. He trolled him. That's the Trump dimension. He baited him. I wish I was that smart. See, that's the Trump dimension. It's Trump. The plan of Trump. And thus, by extension, Trump. Trump just trolled you. But that's okay. It's Trump. The plan of Trump. And thus, by extension, Trump. I don't want to see him kissing goblins, ingratiating goblins, in bed with a goblin. I don't want to see him kissing goblins, succubus with goblins, ingratiating goblins, in bed with a goblin. I don't want to see him kissing goblins, ingratiating goblins, in bed with a goblin. I don't want to see him kissing goblins, ingratiating goblins, in bed with a goblin. Dump it. Charging into a goblin's nest, some goblin vomit and slop and blood on it. Especially up to his ankles. Trump charging into a goblin's nest, some goblin vomit and slop. Goblin vomit and slop. I'm not expecting him to not get dirty slop. Kissing goblins, ingratiating goblins, succubus with goblins, in bed with a goblin. Kissing goblins, ingratiating goblins. I just want to catch him in bed with a goblin, in bed with a goblin, in bed with a goblin, in bed with a goblin. I just want to catch him in bed with a goblin, bed with a goblin, bed with a goblin, bed with a goblin. And they tell the trendies how the trendies go, rip me off. Get into it. Jump up and down. Going, I mean, that's what we're dealing with here, and I'm sick of it. And we're not getting what humans always thought was key: the bone broth, 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 the bone broth. Well, now it's the next level of that. It's caveman. But hey, I need a glass of caveman. Caveman. Man. It's better than Ovaltine. Better than Ovaltine. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Caveman is just over the top. What in the world? But now with the milk, I was like, whoa, this has milk in it. Whoa. It tastes like good. Man, this tastes so good. Tastes like the best milkshake ever. It tastes like Ovaltine. It tastes like Ovaltine. It tastes like Ovaltine. Like good. It tastes like Ovaltine. It tastes like Ovaltine. It tastes like Ovaltine. Like good. Whoa.
This is I can say without a doubt, at least in my experience, that this is literally.
This is a super home run available at InfoWarsLife.com, and it supports the broadcast. All right, all the big news straight ahead. Thanks, Buckley. You die! Murder! You're gonna live in a tank and be tied into this virtual world. You'll be able to wire your head in and just get unlimited pleasure. It'll feel like 10 times the best orgasm for 3 days if you want straight. They're taking the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT. There's the owners of True Frequency Radio. They believe they're communicating with entities. They call them clockwork elves. I'm not going to get into what they're interfacing with. They believe they're in contact with off-world groups. Chris Gio, True Frequency Radio. He texts in, you see the elves, little green hats. We're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We're in trouble. The clockwork elves, all of it.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Tinfoil Tuesday. I hope you're all doing well today in this afternoon / evening, or I guess morning, depending on where you are in the world. I shouldn't be so Eastern time centric. Hold on, I gotta pull up my rewards queue. Cool. Oh, and we just started a hype train. Perfect time. Overthought with 50 bits says, let's get crazy. Happy Tuesday, folks. Probably a Lannister with 500 bits says, hi Hannah and chat. I would just signed an offer for an amazing company and wanted to give some biddies out. Well, thank you and congratulations. Captain Rachel, thanks for subscribing for 12 months, says, 1 year and so much has changed. Just got word that it'll probably get an affordable apartment for next year, and my new coworkers have been reaching out to welcome me. Oh, that's awesome. Good for you. Remember, every level of the hype train, we get more tinfoil garb. Get your bingo cards ready if you would like to play bingo. First bingo winner of the day gets a gift sub. Butternut Squash 3281, thanks for subscribing for 4 months. Outside Observer 2, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Bumble Homestead with 100 bits says, Hannah stream while I cook, thanks. Ooh, what are you making? I hope it's good. Mr. Rogers, or Mr. Fred Rogers, rather, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the community. I appreciate that. Makra3940, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Mr. X8 with 100 bits says, East Coast, Best Coast. What's the temp in Michigan right now? Good question. Let me pull it up. Hold on. It's in the 80s. I have my window AC in here on. It's still too hot, though. I feel like I'm moist constantly. It's 82 degrees. 74 Quinn 74, thanks for 100 bits. Vast Lunacy says, my mom just got hired for a new job and bluffed herself into a little bump in pay. Beautiful.
Even though you're like just a normal person.
Your mom wants to send a link about trans women that says trans women are men? Like what? What is the article about? Is your mom just a dick? Bumble Homestead says, yogurt marinated chicken with garlic sauce from Hello Fresh. What? I don't like savory yogurts. Q-Tippy with 1,065 bits, thank you. Puka the Duka with 200 bits says, it's hot as balls here. Yeah. No. Did I misunderstand? I apologize if I did. 14% of the level 5 hype train. Dislikes savory yogurt but likes cheese. It's a consistency thing. I don't like cream cheese either. Or cottage cheese. Ugh.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin'
We're at 14% to level 5. Bitter Grin with 100 bits. Thank you. Mr. Fred Rogers says, hey, Hannah, I honestly don't care what anyone calls me. Call me Pango the Wonder Llama for all I care. It's pretty good. E-Tune says, agree on the cream cheese. Yeah. I don't like cheesecake either. Yeah. Querulous Artisan, thanks for subscribing with 9 months. Sub Baby. Let's name this Sub Baby. We're gonna use a fantasy name generator. I've been playing Mass Effect, so we're gonna use a Mass Effect name generator. We're gonna go with Turian. Puka the Duka says, I agree, cottage cheese is disgusting. Let me see. Hold on. Let's go with Dina Velidos. That's the baby name. Pyromancer says, bits for hot brownie with vanilla ice cream. Mike Max says, hey gang, is that music too loud? I've been having a lot of volume issues recently where things are either way too quiet or too loud, and I can't find that sweet spot, and I don't know why. I didn't used to have this problem, at least not as consistently. Mike Max says, hey gang, hope everyone is having a good day. Who can't wait for Loki tomorrow? Funny how many people are mad Loki is gender and sex fluid, even though he always was in the comics and mythology. Loki got pregnant and had like a horse baby once in mythology. I'm very excited for Loki though. I'm probably busy tomorrow, but Baha and I are at some point gonna like get online together and watch it. Cause she's she's at her place. Kirthan says, my grandpa used to make homemade cottage cheese on top of the fridge overnight. Ew. I don't like that. And Loki became a woman in the comics? Loki's a shapeshifter, so... 47% to level 5 with only a minute and a half left. We're so close! We're so close! Tony Stark became a woman in the comics too. A lot of people have either... oh god. If we're going to talk about, like, gender switches that have happened in the comics, oh boy. There is some... See, that does... I'm not going to get into it. Nick Snort, thank you for subscribing for 12 months on a 4-month streak. Kirthan, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. Pyromancer with 20 bits says, Rule 63 is a hell of a drug. Fryzerburn says, let's get this level 5 completed. Bumble Homestead with 100 bits says, Loki cares not for petty human distinctions like gender. Quig the Chig, thanks for 300 bits. And Little Green Person, thank you for gifting a sub. That was a lot all at once to get us to level 5. We're at 173% to level 5 with a little under 30 seconds left, and then we'll get started with the stream proper. Thank you, everyone, for the level 5 hype. Appreciate it. I just gotta get my, tinfoil outfit prepared. Thank you, by the way, for the person who sent me this copy of Amalgam Comics. Very, very cool. I appreciate that. I don't know if you guys have seen the Amalgam Comics, but it was a special event that Marvel and DC did where they combined their universes for limited runs. So you have, I think Super Soldier is the name of the character that's a mix between Superman and Captain America. There's Storm and Wonder Woman, Batman and Wolverine, which I think is a poor choice to combine, but that's the only one I don't like. So thank you to the person who sent me this, the P.O. Box. If anyone wants to send me anything, you can type the P.O. Box command into the chat. Oh, by the way, just a housekeeping thing. Can you guys still hear me? I would hope so. So just a housekeeping thing. I'm quite behind on uploading clips and full streams and everything to YouTube. So yesterday I tweeted about this, but in case you don't follow me on Twitter or you don't do Twitter or whatever, They, yeah, why didn't they do Iron Bat? I agree. In fairness, Iron Man wasn't as popular of a character back then because it was before the Iron Man movies. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so yesterday I uploaded 14 videos to YouTube. They're uploaded, but only like 2 are public right now, and the rest are going to trickle out over the next week or so. So they're not lost or anything. All those streams and stream clips are coming out. I just got behind and had to do them all at once. I didn't want to release them all at the same time either, because I don't want to annoy people with like a huge block of like 14 videos in their sub feeds. So I'll be releasing them every day for the next week or so. Yeah, Iron Lantern is what they went with, which I get it. Iron Lantern, visually pretty cool. Hold on, is he in this one or is he in the other thing?
I can say without a doubt, at least in my experience, that this is literally.
Sorry, I'm looking for the Iron Lantern thing. Oh god, and it's Joker and Sabretooth combined, which is a weird combo. I don't know if Iron Lantern is in this compendium. I was sent individual issues though too, and that does have the Iron Lantern one. Okay, we got that, we got this. I'm sweaty, and will continue to be sweaty because of all this nonsense. Trash Vamp says, looking great as always, great foil queen, thank you. Oh, I'm already sweating. I want to die. Okay, these, and... Where's my gavel? Where's my There it is. I found it. Tragedy averted. Joker and Sabretooth is just a big hyena? Yeah. There are 4 different trades for Amalgam because the publishing history of those books is a bit cursed. I imagine it's a lot of rights issues. Mike Mack says, the only time I can remember Tony being a woman is in an alternate universe where he married Cap to stop their civil war, and in the main universe where Ultron used a metal virus to take control of his armor and transform him to Jeanette Waps. Pyromancer says, have a chili cleanse. Snow doggo. So cute. Jamie Turner, I gotta do a vest or something instead, because this is already killing me. Jane Lee Turner says, just got done with a date with my boyfriend, and now I'm going to hang with you. Love your stream. Thank you. Mike Mack says, the first wasps. Let me get the vest. It's not as nice as the jacket, but if I wear this jacket, I'm gonna melt on screen, and no one wants to see that. See, it's not quite as reflective. I'm sorry. Who would I amalgam together in Marvel and DC? Oh, good question. Let me think about it for a second. Definitely Batman and Iron Man. Oh, this looks way better on camera, actually. Hold on. That's great. Cool. I'm so luminescent. Look at that. There we go. It doesn't look like this in real life. This is an effect of the camera and the ring light. So... I've powered up. Oh, this is so much better than the jacket right now. Holy shit. Cool. Still tin-foiled, but, you know. In case you didn't see it, by the way, someone got me a custom gavel that says "Be Trippin'," and it has the Freemason star on it. So thank you to the person who sent me this. Towing24 says, "Tron, mommy. I should put my hair back." That's probably true. Hold on. Ugh. I'm still not the best at doing ponytails, so it might be a bit uneven, but we'll give it a shot. Good enough. We'll call that good enough. Not as high as I was hoping, but it'll do. Oh, that immediately feels better. Kirthan says, if you all ever hate the weather where you live, just imagine being a goth in Florida. My existence is suffering. I'm sorry. A good fusion is Doctor Doom and Lex Luthor. Ooh, that is good. Credibility problem. Thanks for subscribing for 2 months. Yeah, Florida's miserable. I'm not just making a Florida joke, by the way. I've stayed in Florida. My grandparents live there, and I stayed there for like a month once during the summer. So humid. Rains like every day. It's ridiculous. Credibility problem. Thanks for gifting a sub. Alright, let's get to the content. The capital C content. What are we gonna start with? And credibility problem, thanks for extending your subscription through October. Let's go ahead and start with a call for an uprising who has a brand new video about the reptilians, which is near and dear to my heart, since I am one, as we all know.
Because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I was just on CNN looking for real news. Surprise, I found none.
CNN bad and other original jokes from 2014. We know. Mike Max says, Florida man are just redneck versions of Karens. Prove me otherwise. And Jamie Lynn Turner says, I like wearing 2 ponytails, one behind each ear, and letting them fall down to the front. Okay.
But what I did find was something I needed to share. I don't know. Are they trolling me? I feel like maybe they are, but I'm not anyone important, so why would they? But maybe they just have a little crush on me. I don't know.
They don't know you exist, Call.
But CNN had an article on its main page on its website. Get a load of this. These close-up eye portraits belong to the world's most famous and infamous faces. That's right, folks. They're promoting photography of people's eyeballs. That's right.
What do they say about the eyes? They're the window to absolutely nothing, and they hold absolutely no symbolic significance to human beings? Right. So why would they be taking pictures of eyeballs? Obviously, that could only be the work of the Cabal. Von Tuck says, Call ever associated with Channel Awesome? His intro has the vibes of their old title cards. No, he was not.
See for yourself. See it right there. Obama, Putin, The Williams brothers, so the tennis players, the sisters.
Wait, he thinks Venus and Serena Williams are secretly trans? Oh, no. Pyromancer says, here's a tip call. Most pictures of people contain eyes. Don't lie to me like that.
Wink. Elon Musk, Harry Styles, they're all there. And a British artist is stripping his own portraits down, releasing a collection of works that feature only a single iris from the eyes of beloved celebrities. Not two eyeballs, by the way, just a single iris.
Sure, they're going for an aesthetic, and it's just the singular ring, whatever. It's not art I'm into, but it's art, right? It's fine. Mike Mack says, so are ophthalmologists satanic witch doctors? Shh, 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 shh. Don't give them ideas.
As you can see here, because that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants pictures of people's irises and eyeballs in their house. Duh, it's only like the coolest thing ever.
You're not necessarily going to hang these up in your house. It's like, I would imagine this is going to be an exhibit. If they're a photographer, they probably have shows, and they're going to have like this is my collection of portraits of eyeballs that I've taken. And, you know, it'll be pretentious and stuff. I shouldn't say it's pretentious outright. I mean, it's fine. I got no problem with this. I just don't find it aesthetically pleasing, and I don't find the commentary it's making to be... I was going to say important, but that's not fair. I don't care about this. I'm just going to put that out there. I assume most of you don't either, but it's not offensive either. It's just someone doing an art that I don't care about. I'm new to hair too. I transitioned 2 years ago and I finally got long hair. Hee. I love having long hair, but boy, is it a pain sometimes. Andrew Patella says, don't you know that humans didn't used to have eyeballs until the reptilians fought with the alien species that abducted Peter in the ensuing eyesight war? That's why we didn't see them. There's no historical account because no one could see the aliens. Von Tuck says, Chuds seem to call Miss Obama trans too. There's some bigot calculus going on here, as Jerry Seinfeld would say. What's the deal? Basically, they're transphobic, and they think the worst thing they could call a woman is trans, so they do that. That's it. Marcus Drake says, it's pretentious, but not bad. Wine is pretentious, but still tastes good. Sure. Mike Max says, funny thing, I love drawing anime eyes and realistic eyes because they're fun to draw and easy for me, but now it seems I'm a Satanist sheeple for drawing eyes.
Optometrists are just raking in bank right now. They're like, can you believe we're getting all this free publicity? The dollar bill, I mean, everywhere. We're in videos.
When I see depictions of eyeballs on the dollar bill, because I still deal with dollar bills, because apparently I don't have a debit card, I think to myself, I should go see an ophthalmologist. For reasons.
Little I mean, they love eyes. Come on down to your local optometrist. Get your eyes checked. Soon there'll be an eye fetish, right?
That probably already exists. Hold on. Let me Google this. Now I'm curious. How does that even manifest if it's a thing? One sec. Eye fetish. Philia Cornelia. Okay. New eyeball licking fetish spreading pink eye among Japanese adolescents. I kind of doubt that. That's a Fox News article. Ooh. That's unpleasant.
People who are into the adult stuff, they'll be looking at eye fetishes. Wouldn't surprise me. Look at the old iris there that they show. Isn't that wonderful on your wall? People are like, that's so cool. That's so neat. I mean, how much more obvious can this get? Are they trolling me? I feel like...
Yes, they're out to get you specifically, Call. That's a good train of thought to go down. I'm sure for someone like you, that's very healthy and productive. They're definitely targeting you. Vast Lunacy says, I've seen eyeball licking since I was in high school, more than 10 years ago. Gross? And Mike Max says, never underestimate horny people. After this chat, I don't.
A part of me says, yeah, but I don't feel like I'm anyone of any importance to them, so why would they?
You're not.
It must be a coincidence, because...
Yes. Existential Baguette, thanks for subscribing for 11 months.
We all believe in those, But look at that, right? It almost looks like one of those things, you know, some call it an Ouroboros, some call it an Oro.
Did you know that eyes are circles and there are other things that are also circles? Wait, are circles already on my list of Freemason symbology? Let me see. Circles, crowns, spirals, the moon. I have magic circles in quotes. But that's not quite just a circle, but that's fine. I'll leave it. Andrew Patella says, call for an uprising when Lil Nas X. What? They trolling me? No way. Call for an uprising now. Eyeballs are trolling me.
Ouroboros. I just call it gay.
What? An ancient symbol depicting a serpent or dragon eating its own tail is gay? Call for an uprising has a complex. Pyromancer says the 90s called they want their joke back. The 80s called they want their joke format of saying someone called back. Austoner says Call would go crazy if he played Somnium Files. Not heard of it.
No, I'm talking about happy because it's such a happy thing. Isn't that a great word? Happy. Gay. I'm going to start bringing that back. What a word. Super gay. Yeah. So here we have a regular photographer for Time and former staffer of the New Yorker. He goes by the name Platten. I don't know if he's got a first name. He said he holds his judgment at the door during studio sessions. He said, I've seen all sides of the spectrum. I've looked into Gaddafi's eyes and Putin's eyes, but I've also had intimate moments with Prince and Edward Snowden. I don't want to know about those intimate moments. Whew, let's keep that to yourself. Leave it for the book that no one will read. So name for the series that he's created is named I Love You, I Hate You. But it's so clever because it's EYE.
I'm leaning more towards pretentious at this point, now that I've learned more about this guy. Mike Mack says, call for an uprising one day will say, if you're not me, you're a Satanist. And then Puka the Duka says, at this point I think it would be simpler to make a list of things that aren't satanic. It definitely would be shorter. And Von Tuck says, Call must get real hot and bothered that the giant eyeball monster gay softcore porn movie. What? Jellyfish, thanks for subscribing for 4 months in advance.
Love you and EYE hate you. Well, I'm going to lean towards the latter, the hate part, you know?
And thanks for gifting us.
Hey, wait a minute. That's hate speech. This guy's talking about hate. Is he allowed to hate people? Look, he's saying I hate you and CNN's promoting it. I guess they promote hate speech. We should report him.
Boy, he's really salty that he can't be openly... I mean, he is already openly homophobic, but he's real mad he can't say slurs, isn't he? At least on YouTube.
I'm just kidding. We don't report people. Although somebody did say they were going to report me for cracking a joke about littering yesterday. I don't know if anyone saw that. I let them know that I'll be more than happy to deal with that report. I guess they think they're going to get my video taken down because I cracked the recycling joke. What isn't off limits at this point? People are reporting people like me for cracking a joke about littering.
That is a very strange person. It says, in this video you talk like it's okay and cool to litter on the side of the road. For this, I have to thumbs it down and report it. Usually I'm thumbing up your videos. So it's a fan of a call for an uprising who is apparently cool with the lying and the misinformation about medical stuff. Okay with the homophobia and the transphobia. But he makes a joke about littering and that's apparently worth a report. People are weird.
Why don't you just come put his...
Ilium Gal says some decent modern photography. Yeah, I like photography of just like real people in life doing stuff or like stuff like this. I like that kind of stuff. I don't... It's just a preference thing, you know.
A zipper over my mouth at this point.
The killer eye.
Sensitivity. Everyone's so sensitive. Let's relax. Everyone relax. Let's continue on. I love you. I hate you. is being released on LGND Art, a platform for purchasing non-fungible token artworks.
Oh no! Is this... Oh god. It's an NFT thing! I hate NFTs. It's the dumbest.
NFTs are a kind of virtual signature that employs blockchain technology to prove ownership of digital assets and can be used in the sale of digital art, songs, and tech.
You know what I do if I want to own an image that I see anywhere? I click on it, and then I hit save image as, and then I save it. And then I have that image. And it's no more or less mine than someone who has a fucking blockchain code. I don't care. Devious Chilster says, I'm no longer fascinated. I'm disgusted all around.
Tickets, among other things. Well, we know what they use artwork for, those sales of artwork. So it would be really, I'm sure,
money
make a lot of sense
laundering.
if they were selling eyeball pictures, and that was going to...
That's actually true. A lot of high-end art is used for money laundering and other illegal stuff because it's worth money and easy to carry around. eTune2350 says, every day we stray further from, we can't say God's light because Call claims to be in it. Satan's shadow? And then Pyromancer says, NFTs are like paying to name a star. Good comparison.
Trafficking. Boy. Still pollen in June. It's crazy. The show will be Platten's first foray into selling his works as NFTs, starting with an initial drop of 12 irises. That's 12 eyeballs, folks, not dual eyeballs. You're only going to get one eyeball, and yeah, you're going to get Zuckerberg, too. Isn't that great? We get to see his reptilian eye up close. It says an initial drop of 12 irises on June 6th for $111 each for those into numerology. Feel free to comment about that. With 36 irises to be released in total. Wonder we got the number, 3 and the 6. 3 times, oh, could be great. The 6, 6. With the eyeballs. So it must be a coincidence. Collectors who...
Yeah, let's check the bingo card real quick because there's been a decent number of things so far already. Reptoids, which he mentioned. Numerology with the thing he just said. Satanic. I think that might be it. I did not mention either of those things, did I?
Collectors won't know whose eye they're purchasing. Oh, that makes it even more fun, folks. So you can end up with Zuckerberg's eye. You'll know it'll be green. Oh wait, all of theirs are.
Did he mention the
first
Illuminati?
Sale will include Barack and Michelle Obama, Putin, Zuckerberg, Gaddafi, Adele, and Prince. The purchase.
When did I talk about that earlier?
Digital assets.
You know what? I did actually. I remember. I was talking about cream cheese. So yep. I'll count that.
This will include a note from Platten revealing the sitter's identity. And you can see him here. He's even got one of those old pointy sticks. He's pointing at his screen. He's like, look.
One of those old pointy sticks? What the fuck?
Look, here's the eye. You know, I've seen an eyeball on a screen before at the eye doctor, the optometrist. There's that word again. And, you know, they usually look at these things, examining if your retina's messed up or you got anything that might lead to some type of eye problem. You know, no, he's just enjoying it. He's getting it. He's like, this is so cool. I wonder why. I guess he just likes eyes.
Because it's an art thing. He's fascinated by, oh, everyone's retinas are individual. Let's look at the eyes of these people. The eye is the window to the soul and all that. That's the whole reason. That's it. Zinnaby says, just like with many things, the important part is the contract that you are the owner, not necessarily the thing itself. But yeah, I haven't seen an NFT that wasn't a scam.
Too. He's keeping his eye on the prize. He tends to have an eye for details. You guys know what I'm talking, right? They love those eyes.
Actually, you'll need the necessary application for authorization, approval from the guilds and union. My eye, isn't it?
Why would we want to look at your eye? Is there something wrong with that weird eye?
Well, you're serious about putting on a rock concert.
Are you kidding? I'd give my right eye.
Well, I'd like to think that I have an eye for details.
Call understands that this is a joke, right? That's the joke? That's the joke. It's actually the same joke he used in Austin Powers 3, I want to say, with the mole. So that's kind of lazy. Just notice that. Pyromancer says, does Call realize he has eyes? In fairness, we've never seen him. So, maybe he doesn't.
Okay, well, we'll take these home, run through them with a fine-tooth comb, cross the T's
Titnow
and dot
TV,
the
thanks for following.
lowercase j's.
Platten created the images by rescanning his film at the highest resolution. Nobody cares. He says, I always like to take a close-up picture of...
Except you do care. You're making a whole 12-minute video on this guy's pretentious art project.
everyone. It's the first thing I do in the beginning of every session. It helps me to get to know them, and it helps me settle. Oh, that's an extra close-up going to the eye. Why don't you zoom in on their nose? What's wrong with noses? Nobody likes noses?
I could probably find art of noses. Like, you can find art people do of noses. Look at... Call, just because that guy specifically is doing a thing about eyes doesn't mean no one ever does anything about any other body parts. You specifically are seeking out things about eyes because you have what's the word I'm thinking of? Selection bias? I don't remember. Confirmation bias. You are seeking out things that justify your conspiratorial beliefs. So you see an article or something about eyes, maybe you even spend your time Googling eyes like a weirdo, I have no idea, and then you're like, aha, see? When this is just some rando artist, photographer, who's doing some art project you don't like. Like, it's fine. A lot of things happen in the world. Mike Max says, remember, conspiracy theorists hate facts, fiction, metaphors, and jokes.
All these women in Hollywood get nose jobs. I guess men too, right? People seem to be pretty, you know, what's the word about their nose? They're like very into their noses. They're very, you know, they're judgmental of their nose. Oh, why not nose? How about we go up inside someone's nose? We could see what's up in there. Zuckerberg's got some crusty boogers or something in there. No? Instead, we got to do eyes again, huh? Wonder why it's the eye. How about ears? Maybe see if Obama's got earwax. I'm sure he does. I'm sure Michael Obama, Michelle Obama has earwax in there, right? Why not? But he chose the eye because the eyes are the window to the soul, they say, right? That's why. That's why we're all supposed to believe it. You know?
Yes.
You got to wonder if it's...
So he does know. So he does understand. He just chooses to pretend that he doesn't. Great.
It's just almost like a cover in a sense, because they're realizing that all these like collages exist, which I always show you guys that people put together.
Lil Wibba, thank you for following.
All these people doing the all-seeing eye symbolism. And then when I break down music videos, I mean, anyone could do it. All you got to do is just be awake and aware, and you'll just see all the symbols. But there's always an eyeball on the wall, Prince's eyeball in the living room. I mean, love eyes. I don't know. I look around where I'm at. I don't see many eyes. Should I get some portraits of eyes? Anybody have nice eyes? Send some eyeball pictures down. That'd be cool. Some pictures of some toes. I mean, you know, just a singular body part, but it's nothing but the eye.
Don't show this to Call. Jesus.
I mean, does anyone have a picture of, like, I don't know, an armpit on their wall?
Misattribution of coincidence. I don't even know if I'd call this a coincidence. I'd just call it a trope. It's like a photography trope of having the subject cover one eye. So I don't know if I'd say coincidence on that one.
All right, what about the armpit? The nose, the ear? I mean, I mentioned most of it. No, just always that eye. So you can get a close-up of these celebrities' eyes. Of course, these celebrities, because we have to bow down and worship, of course. And Zuckerberg is creeping everybody out.
You don't have to like or care about celebrities, Call. I don't, generally. And I'm like a normal person, more or less, you know. I'm within a standard deviation of normal. How about that?
All these guys. He takes a lot of these pictures. Like
E-Tune says, someone buy Call one of those toy eyeballs with limbs. And Towing24 says, is Call one of those weird chuds into Abby Shapiro's feet? I don't know.
From low picture looking up, those are supposed to be intimidating pictures. You're supposed to be intimidated.
Is the eye thing spurious symbology? Yeah. I think we already got spurious symbology, though. Oh, no, we didn't, yeah. Spurious symbology.
By these people. That's how what they did in the first propaganda films. They would film it that way so that people were intimidated by these powerful figures. Meanwhile, you realize that they're just really zoomed in on their crotches, for crying out loud. Anyway, as they go on here, they talk about the portraits, the memoirs, Adele, Obama, and all of them. And this is important news on CNN. I'm sharing it for the obvious reason, because they're always talking about eyes. They're always right in front of us revealing this stuff, and people just think it's either art.
Let's see if we can find any articles on CNN about eyes, other than this one, if it's still up. Just to test his theory on the eyes thing. These economies are stronger than they were. Oh god, I haven't really gone to CNN's website in a long time. This is a terribly formatted website. How obnoxious to look at. I hate this. It's just list. Look at, I don't know. Anyway. Economies in these states are better. Live updates. Only 13 states have met Biden's goal of vaccinating 70% of adults. Eat or pay rent. That's the choice they had to make. Dr. Gupta, how to assess risk when going mask-free. Vaccine skeptics share their concerns with Allison Camerota. Mitt Romney, it's unacceptable Microsoft censors U.S. Tiananmen Square images. We turned so far right, we went crazy. How Fox News was radicalized by its own viewers. Crippling drought causes Lake Mead at Hoover Dam to reach historically low water level. Oregon Republicans call on lawmaker to resign after video shows him appearing to tell protesters how to enter closed state capitol. Biden administration investigates a legal leak of Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Warren Buffett's tax information. Vegas police identify 7-year-old found dead on hiking trail. Something about Kamala Harris, flu season. Biden's negotiations with Capito-led group of Republicans. None of these have to do with eyes. The eye thing isn't a thing unless you're intentionally seeking it out. Control F. Eyes. Eye? Close-up eye portraits, this is just literally the article. This is the only article. It's at the bottom of the page, and it's the one he's referencing for his video. Eyes don't come up that often in the way you're talking about unless you're searching it out, you weirdo.
I mean, they might as well just why doesn't he just put 2 middle fingers next to the eyeball in the picture for everybody? You know? We'd appreciate it. At least, at least just let us know why you're doing it. Right? Sadly, they're actually indoctrinating sleeping zombies out there who will do monkey see, monkey do, and then they'll have eyes in their home. And
I already have eyes in my home. I keep them in my head.
I mean,
I have 6 eyes in my home and 8 on the weekend.
You know how it works, folks. You know how
4 of those eyes are cat eyes, so I don't know if they count, but I'm counting them.
Social engineering works, and we're in the dumbest time period, so this will work. So this is it. A wonderful eye collection. Everybody's been dying to get eyeballs in their home, pictures of eyeballs. Now you can get irises of the Obamas, and probably the Clintons will be on there in the list of 32. Won't surprise anyone, but it's just what everybody wants. He's making 36, 3 6s. Nah, no, it can't be that. I'm not going to be one of those crazy conspiracy people, though.
Too late.
But if you want to see me be one, you can find me on my website at callfornuprising.com. I'm just laughing. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I'm going there looking for news, obviously knowing that it's going to be fake. And then I just see this, and I'm like, what? They're promoting this right on the main page about people's eyes. Who is this guy, right?
Are you talking about Putin, or are you talking about the artist?
Well, we know he's probably involved, and probably know his preference when it comes to, you know, the old in and out, you know?
God damn, he is obsessed with people's sexual lives. So weird. Who's this
Usually they always lean
preoccupied with who other people fuck? Who cares?
One way. That's for sure. Anyway, check me out on the website at callfornuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. I hope to see you guys there. Lots going on over there. Lots of new content. Just put a video up about magnets you might want to check out. I want to thank the Patreons. You guys keep me going here on YouTube, so thank you. And thank all of you who thumbs up the videos and watch the ads. I appreciate it. And
I really gotta throw him like $3 so I can go see how garbage his website is. I would imagine it's really bad.
If you've ever had the...
How homophobic do you think his website is? Really? What do you think? He just uploaded a new video. We really are near the end. Look who's being featured in a DC Comics TV show.
If you've ever had this feeling...
Oh, Call for an Uprising got a new intro, by the way. This is a new intro. Freiserburn says, I feel like Call thinks that his specific Google search algorithm is everyone else's and just runs with it being objective reality instead of his subjective view of reality. He probably sits there and Googles eyeballs all day, every day, and then he's like, why do I get so many things recommended to me about eyeballs? Morok says, fucking magnets. Brain Sprung, thanks for subscribing, and Pyromancer says, the Illuminati. Okay, I like that.
That something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't
Did he just
figure
hear
out
about Rachel Maddow and Batwoman? Wait, what?
just what it was. Then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time.
Oh, this
But
new
not
intro
anymore,
kind of slaps.
because
It's got a
there is
nice
an
beat.
awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad he removed the part where Satan or Baphomet or whoever shits his pants. That wasn't very classy.
this is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Surprise, surprise, Sydney again. We have another show. This show, and I want to thank the subscribers out there who shared this with me, and this is why it's so important to be on the website, because I would never have seen this because I don't even know what this show is. But now I do. I'm very familiar now. A show called Legends of Tomorrow,
Help
which
to
is
use
created
music
by
from the Matrix.
DC
Was it music from
Comics,
the
which is owned by Warner Brothers. It's a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, as well as AT&T and Warner Media. Just released an episode as we speak called The Satanist's Apprentice. That's right. And guess what the episode's about? Well, it's about this guy named Aleister Crowley. You may have heard of him, who continues to get glorified in the media. This, of course, geared towards young kids.
You know where I hear about Aleister Crowley? In Call for an Uprising's videos, and nowhere else.
Where Crowley's going to teach magic to one of the characters on the show. Crowley is apparently trapped inside of a picture, and he's going to come out of the picture and take possession of someone else's body to teach black magic. Oh yeah, you can't make it up, right? It's kind of strange they keep glorifying a guy who in his teachings openly talked about sacrifice. That's right, humankind. And talked about, I don't know, doing things with kids. He's actually known for that, notorious for that.
We actually looked into this the last time he brought up this claim, and it turned out he and other conspiracy theorists were misunderstanding a joke he was making about masturbating and jizzing, and they misinterpreted it as a child sacrifice thing, which is a little funny.
In his house out there where the Loch Ness Monster...
Basically, Crowley was using child sacrifice as a euphemism for masturbating, because cum, sperm, children, you get it. Perfect time. Raiders, welcome from the original Lila. Hi. Aren't you glad you showed up when we're talking about this? Welcome. Go check out the original Lila here on Twitch. Thank you.
Monsters supposedly exist. That's right, doing disgusting things with youngins. But no big deal. They'll glorify him in the media and push him to kids as being some type
He
of
believed
magician.
in the power of butt magic. Who doesn't? Alright, I'm kind of tired of calls. Bullshit for today.
Like I said,
Let's be done with him. So Raiders, I'm Hannah. I am a leftist streamer. I do Chud Watch, where I kind of look at people like Ben Shapiro and other chuds, and I talk about them, laugh at them, etc. This is Tinfoil Tuesday. We look at conspiracy theorists and debunk them and try and talk about why they believe the things they believe. So, is Hannah okay? She looks so blue. It's a lighting thing. It's because this vest is, see, the vest is reflective, so when my ring light is on, it kind of blows out the, see, so I'm not that blue. It's just, once I turn this on and this starts to glow, it screws up the entirety of the lighting. Thank you for the concern, though. This is actually kind of cool. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. You know, I think it's time to take a look at Bob Larson, the real exorcist. Today, we have a doozy of an exorcism. He's going to try and exorcise, quote, a powerful voodoo mermaid spirit from the ocean. I'm pretty excited. So let's check it out. NE43, thanks for subscribing for 6 months. There is often flashing in this intro. If you're not okay with flashing, warning!
Get away from me! Get away from me! Get away from me! Don't touch me!
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I torment you. What is your first name?
Morgan.
Hi, Morgan. Hi.
Morgan is 26 and single. She was displaced by Hurricane Harvey and is unemployed. Growing up, she was tormented by bullying and attempted suicide twice. She was assaulted at 21 and has suffered financial and relationship setbacks. Her family, although Christian, has Creole ancestors on both sides. Oh, this is gonna be probably racist. Bob's real good at being accidentally racist about these things. Remember in the last video we did him? He had a white guy and he was like, you have a slave owner ghost demon in you, and he made like the first black woman he saw in the room accept an apology from the slave owning ghost who murdered babies. Whatever.
Single or married?
I was engaged, but
There's something back there that just keeps coming after you. Now, sometimes people say to me, how do you know if it's a curse? Well, bad things happen to good people. We live in a world in which
Hi, Baha.
it just happens. But when a whole lot of bad things keep happening, that's just not statistically possible that many bad things happens to a good person. So often that means there's a curse.
What? I am so offended by the implication that the things that happen to you are based on if you're a good person or not, and the implication that if you have a lot of shitty things happen to you, then it's either your own fault or it's a demon, and that's the dichotomy, and there's no other options. Fuck you, Bob. Not everyone can become a scam artist, in my opinion, and go around the country and scam gullible people into giving you money to fake exorcise them, you stupid asshole. The original Lila, thanks for subscribing for 3 months, says, sorry I haven't been by much. Looking forward to stream now, though. Also, I'd be screaming, get away from me, to this guy as well.
Behind it, making the bad things more frequent and worse. It sounds like to me there's something generational that's been passed down to you that's trying to destroy you. Do you have any family members you know of involved in witchcraft?
Well, I am Creole on both sides.
Well, that'll do it. Okay.
Oh, God, no!
Yeah. Okay. Let's just start right there. Say in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
Every spirituality and faith that isn't the same as mine is devil worship and other fucked up things white people say.
Go back
I go back
through my Creole family and ancestors.
through my Creole family and ancestors
To any voodoo,
to any voodoo
witchcraft.
and witchcraft.
I break the curse
I break the curse
of that witchcraft.
of that witchcraft.
Every animal sacrifice.
Every animal sacrifice.
See, okay, this lady's pretty good. I always try and rate the performances of the people who are pretending to be infested with demons. And when I say pretending, they might believe they are, but on some level they're pretending because demons aren't real. This lady's pretty good. She's kind of going back and forth between herself and the demon, and she's like, oh, rah, rah, oh. Like, no, that's good. That's good. Okay, if there was an Emmy or a Golden, not an Oscar, okay? But if there was like an Emmy or a Golden Globe for best fake exorcism performance, pretty good. At least nominated. At least.
You saw that, didn't you?
I felt that they said gonna cut it because I don't do voodoo.
Well, they did.
Yeah,
So I break the curse
I break the curse
of every animal sacrifice.
of every animal sacrifice.
Every blood covenant.
Bob has Morgan renounce all generational curses present in her bloodline in preparation for interrogating the demons.
How dare you? Let me go!
Oh, she's nailing it. Yes. Yes. Bring this lady back. She might be the best fake demon we've seen on this show so far. Her yesing is on point, honestly. Yeah.
Are you the spirit of the water?
I want her shirt. I like that shirt. It looks comfy.
It's not your concern.
I'm going to ask you one last time. Are you the spirit of the water?
Yes!
Are you the spirit of the water? See, she even nails the improv stuff. Are you the spirit of the water? Immediate yes. That's the one rule in improv. Never no, only yes and. Are you the spirit of the water? Yes, of course I'm the spirit of the water. Fucking nailing it. Honestly, she makes the last guy we looked at doing the demon thing, she makes him look like trash. She's excellent. She should get her own show.
Do you know what I do to mermaid spirits?
Do you know what I do to mermaid spirits? I don't know, Bob. What do you do to mermaid spirits? I don't think this has come up before.
You know what I do? I take a sword and cut off their tail.
So he used the Bible to cut off the ethereal tail of the demon mermaid. Cool. Oh, she even goes down to her knees. Yes. Yes. Get it. Ugh. Yes, she's even like, my power. Like, that's great. That's a great ad lib. My power? It's vague, but you kind of get it. I love it. She's nailing this. Bob forces the demon to tell him the number of generations the curse has been in effect. Resisting at first, the demon gives in after being smitten with the cross and admits the number is 1,000.
How many Say, I'm Morgan.
I'm Morgan.
It's always interesting to me when they say like 1,000 generations when a lot of these people are young Earth creationists and they think the Earth is 6,000 years old. That doesn't add up. People don't only live to be 6 years old.
Break this curse of voodoo.
Break this curse of voodoo.
Going back 1,000 generations.
Going back 1,000 generations.
And I renounce
And I renounce
the spirit of the waters.
the spirit of the waters.
The mermaid spirit
The mermaid spirit
that they worshipped.
that they worshipped.
Get up, spirit of voodoo. Get up, mermaid spirit. Who's with you? Tell me who is with you. Who's important to know? Who? Do I need to torment you? Who's with you?
No, you'll kill us.
Who?
Again, she's so good at the ad-libs. No, you'll kill us. Like, yes. It's like she's really inhabiting this demonic mermaid spirit.
Not compared to what I'll do. Who's with you?
Oh, she's so quick. Who's with you? Baphomet. Yes.
Baphomet's with you.
Isis.
Isis? And Baphomet. That would make
Osiris.
Osiris and Jezebel.
Of course it's Jezebel. You always gotta throw Jezebel in there when it's a woman he's exercising. Hydrate. Will do.
More powerful than Jezebel. Who you think she worshipped?
She is so good. She is so good at this. More powerful than Jezebel. Who do you think she worshipped? Damn! Oh shit. I accidentally closed it out, I think. Oh, god damn it. Hold on. Now I gotta fix this. I am a fool. Okay, I fixed it. Sorry. Let me just put it back on the screen. Where were we in this? Around here?
Back to Egypt. To know who?
Spirit of the waters.
The mermaid spirit. Do I need to torment you? Who's with you?
No, you'll kill us.
Who? Not
Morog
compared to
says,
what
but
I'll
Baphomet is a modern
Who's with
creation
you?
of the Church of Satan and doesn't appear in any classic demon literature.
Isis.
Isis?
Shh, the rubes don't know.
Osiris.
Osiris and Jezebel.
More powerful than Jezebel. Who you think she worshipped? She worshipped Isis.
Well, Isis, no wonder it's 1,000 generations. We're back to Egypt.
Honestly, I think Bob is really enjoying this. I think when Bob finds a mark who's like this lady who's really, really good at the back and forth of this, I think he's elated when he gets this. He's like, yes, I can clip this video. I can use it in my ads. This is great.
Boy, you've done a lot of damage for a long time. It's going to end. Oh, yes. Do you have a legal authority?
I know that feeling too. Like when you are doing any sort of improv anything and you find someone that you just like click with in terms of like a really great back and forth, it's like a magical thing. So Bob is having a good time. Mike Mack says, this feels like a Supernatural episode where a fake priest makes a deal with a demon to make money. And then Ilium Gal says, one of the first kingdoms to set Christianity as the official religion was in Ethiopia, long before anywhere in Europe or the Near East. The assumption that Christianity only arrived in sub-Saharan Africa with the white missionaries is ignorant nonsense. Oh, nice. Didn't know that.
Does this woman want you?
No. Unfortunately.
She's broken the curse. Do you have legal authority?
Yes.
What? What's the legal authority?
Rape. Incest.
You're going to lift that curse, Isis. Give me my sword.
Bob, with the help of the audience, binds Isis and Baphomet to the demons Mermaid, Spirit of the Water, Murder, Witchcraft, Voodoo, and Black Magic. Jezebel is also present because of the RAPE. He then forces the demons to lift the curses of RAPE and incest and the generational curses of murder, witchcraft, voodoo, and voodoo on Morgan.
We the people of God agree. Obey the man of God. Obey us. Let this woman go. I pronounce the judgment of God on you 7 times greater than all the 1,000 generations of Egyptian black magic. Feel it now! Get up. Baphomet. Baphomet. Well, I'm using the French.
Baphomet does not speak French.
Say, I Baphomet.
I Baphomet.
I Baphomet. Say it, I Baphomet.
Say it. Baphomet.
With all my kingdom.
With all my kingdom.
Go.
Go.
Now. Now.
Say it.
Now.
I'll go to the now, but I will not go there.
You said I will go now. Say 2.
Say
2. 2. Say it. 2. Lord, send angels to smite this thing and torment it. Torment it. Torment it. Say 2. Say 2. Say 2. The. Say the. Pit. Say pit.
No!
Say pit.
No!
Say pit.
No!
I command you to say pit. Say pit.
Say
Say pit. Say pit.
Shut up!
Say pit. Come on, in the name of Jesus. Tell us where to go. Come on.
She knows right when to do the screaming, too. Is this a fetish thing? I wish it was a fetish thing. I could respect if it was a fetish thing. She's really going hard on this. You're impressed, yeah? Doing a good job.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, with the peace of God, the presence of Christ, the comfort of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Who did this for you?
Jesus.
Who gets the glory?
Jesus.
Who sets us free?
Jesus.
Amen.
Bob thinks she's a planted actress. It's possible.
International
If so, he
School
did
of
it. He picked a good
an online
choice.
Bible college of spiritual warfare. The history of exorcism, healing, deliverance, and spiritual.
She needs to have improv on her resume, for sure. Because she nailed it. Okay. Thanks, Bob.
Highest timeline.
Appreciate it as always. Let me see if there's anything on the bingo sheet. I don't think so, actually. Peter and Bob should meet. Ancient wisdom. I could see that. Yeah. We could do ancient wisdom for the exorcism stuff. Talking about all these old gods and... Sure. Tony Ray TX, thank you for following. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ugh. Here's a fun cleanse for me. Let's do a cleanse before we do something arduous. What about you almost dying laughing from the improv master? No, I wasn't close enough for that. Doctor Strange versus Doctor Who rap battle? Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll watch this quick cleanse and then we'll check out. Remember how, oh gosh, many of you probably weren't even following at this point because I covered this like half a year ago or maybe even more. There was a air quote documentary, a conspiracy propaganda piece called The Fall of the Cabal, which was the source for a ton of sort of QAnon conspiracy theorist claims. So I covered all of that, and that took many weeks because it's in like 8 to 10 parts or something, and they're all like half an hour long, and there's so much pausing and stuff. Anyway, they made a sequel, so we're probably gonna watch the sequel. Well, let's watch this cleanse first. It's like a rip-off of epic rap battles of history.
So that's why my psychic paper keeps going missing. This phone is after it because it knows it passes Tony Stark but with no vision. Give up the act, that bad American accent could not be mended with magic. Strange, you look like the master if he mastered the art of chatting to fab. My son of screwdriver has the mic blocked. You're a colonizer and need high docks. I know the ancient world was rocking makes you froze, but they really didn't need a bloody whitewash. You don't want to face a time lord in a rhyme war. You're minor to the Daleks that I thought. My TARDIS is like the Ferrari of time travel. Your stone's quite literally an eyesore. Ooh, yeah, sports cars are a shaky topic. Right, course. Now that joke was an accident, let's hope it still lands well. Unlike yours. Shut up, but they're begging for you to answer me this question because it's taking me a bit to understand it. How did the Avengers take a Thanos in a secondary battle when the only difference was the magician vanished?
No, let me ask you, Doctor. With no sling ring in sight, how do you cast those plot holes that are way bigger on the inside? So take your kerfuffles you solve with loving hugs and MacGuffins and shut it. I haven't seen softer Doctor since McStuffins. I'll tell you something, I've looked in 14 million futures, but it didn't change, cause I don't need a time stone to know that you're the same in each iteration. This slimy time travels and suits a companion. Use a plot armor to save the whole planet, till this man panics and leaves them abandoned, and then he gets damaged so they bring in a stand. Then the BBC says, we've come to bargain, let's barf it again. You're just a dangerous threat to your friends. It's ironic your rapping is far from its head. I commit time to do what I choose to. Time bends you like it's deja vu. That screwdriver is stupid to use, cause no one has the drive to ever screw you. Go hide on the beach, call me sorcerer supreme. I light up the scene to 1,000 degrees. When it comes to degrees, you can actually check mine. Strangest out the best rhyme since Tech 9. Your girl got stuck in a parallel world, and I'm sure that you miss her. But the truth is, Doctor, you killed Rose the moment you picked her.
Speaking of parallel universes, I'm truly certain you hopped in a few and threw the boot like Chris Nolan muted through ours to come shoot your stupid movie. Alon Z, Benedict to me. I can't say that's a shocker, but it is strange how you're a defender and yet Doom's a more heroic doctor.
Your show is as stiff as your angels, except I couldn't bear to watch. I'm tearing off like a paradox.
Actually, Annie, thanks for resubscribing, and Logard says this is what Rap Battle from History has devolved into, actually. Same people, I think. Mike Max says, remember when both these characters fought the devil?
You shut your holes. You Doom lead the way, because I flow so dope. When you're firmly gripping the mic with those hands, you're close to dropping it. From surgical precision to whiny-whiny, wibbly-wobbly. Hey, I've visited colonies, met millions of species with different biologies, but not had a single thing bother me as much as that prickly shit around the rim of your lip, and honestly, just ask River how I'll make a song bang. You brought your brother back from the dead, and he didn't even say thanks. Use that Infinity Stone to get this over with. I'm not scared of Adam Sandler's remote from Click. All that hocus pocus, but no hope for sin. That's a curse not even your cloak could lift.
I've not met a mannequin to this bumbling dummy who was raised by evil space beings like...
Are you my dumb mummy?
Doesn't it break both your hearts knowing Gallifrey is toast? I could save your whole race from extinction. But I won't! I assembled Avengers when everything crumbled. You rallied a generation under Tumblr. Your hatred for guns has made one thing for certain. That's why you're firing no shots in your verses. The person you lure next will surely be spared of your meaningless trust when you become the second alien that spits in the dust.
Who won? Who's next? You just died. They're next.
Just seeing what other ones they have. Norman Bates versus Jack Torrance. Bob Ross versus Bob the Builder. Jeff the Killer versus... Oh, God. Hannibal Lecter versus Leatherface. Leatherface doesn't talk. How is that going to work? Walter White versus Willy Wonka. Mr. Bean versus Charlie Chaplin. These are very strange. Okay. Alright. Derek Bellinger, thank you for subscribing for 8 months. Hello. Okay, so like I said earlier, months ago, I covered and did a debunking, point by point, of the original Fall of the Cabal, which is a nonsense, Q-anonsense bullshit video. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. That was gross. And it took a long time, and it was annoying. And unfortunately, they've made a sequel, so now I have to watch this and debunk it as well. So let's check it out. And someone says kittens? Cute. Shoot. Oh, where'd I get the jacket? I actually don't remember. This is the sequel to The End of the World as We Know It, The Fall of the Cabal, a 10-part documentary that we hope you watched before. Proceeding with this one, in this sequel we focus on the identity of the Cabal. Years of research have gone into this documentary, still we urge you to do your own research and double-check everything we present to you. I will. That's the only way to truly wake up to the truth. Please keep watching until the end. We guarantee it will change your view on reality forever. Kinda doubt it.
I ended my 10-part documentary about the fall of the Cabal with a promise. A promise to dive deeper into the story behind the darkness in this world we live in. What happened? How did we get to this point? Who is the Cabal? And what is their exact agenda? Are you ready to go further down the rabbit hole?
No!
Well, fasten your seatbelts, for this is going to be one heck of a ride. Those who rule the world, those truly in command, are referred to as the Illuminati or Cabal.
God damn it. Okay, Illuminati on the bingo card. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this so it fits more of the screen, but I don't want to do it fully full screen. That's the Illuminati on the bingo card, by the way. Baha, they were talking about this vest because it's like, this is actually really cool. Like when the light's on, it's like reflective. So they were talking about this. I don't remember where this one came from. It was like a vest. Anyway, okay, let's do the video.
Not many people are aware of their presence, let alone their identity.
Because they're not real.
We have grown to believe that our countries are ruled by presidents, by kings and queens and governments. But the truth is, these are mere puppets on a string. Who pull the strings? This small yet mysterious and elusive group that forms shadow governments and who play the world and all of humanity like gods playing chess.
Of course, it's a picture of Soros, too. That's going to be thinly veiled anti-Semitism on the bingo card. Okay, so here's the thing. There are people who have inordinate control over the world's governments. They're called the wealthy, and it has to do with the fact that, unfortunately, money is power. But they're not a nefarious, shadowy group that gets around, you know, dimly lit conference tables and is like, haha, here's what we'll do. They're individual people and coalitions of people who have different political motives, and they are exercising their power by spending money on political campaigns, etc., 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 right? It's not like a shadowy bullshit thing. This is just like a capitalism problem. I get the whole, like, fear of, like, oligarchy, because effectively we kind of live in one. But it's not this. This is not the form that it takes. This is bullshit.
Is the Cabal for real? Or is it just a myth, blown out of proportion?
It's that one.
By conspiracy theorists looking for a common enemy. The Cabal is very real. The evidence can be found throughout history, abundantly. This story covers thousands of years. It is crucial information to understand the modern-day Cabal and the evil we are dealing with. Not only that, it is the only way I can possibly reveal to you the best-kept and most shocking secret in the history of mankind. Let's go all the way back in history to the most ancient civilization on...
Oh, are they going to try and say that everything evil that's ever happened in the history of the world is the fault of one evil organization? Like we live in a goddamn Assassin's Creed game? Really? We're going to do Samaria? Okay, let's do it.
Earth. Sumer. Ancient Sumer. 7 millennia ago.
We already had ancient wisdom, but yes.
What we know stems back from the early writings on clay tablets, written down in cuneiform script. The Sumerian civilization was a highly developed and advanced society with grand cities, temples, and pyramids. Archaeological findings tell us the cities had amazing mosaics, elaborate streets, housing blocks, indoor plumbing, toilets with water flushing systems, and much more.
I don't know about that claim. I honestly don't. Let me look that up. I only know a cursory amount of things from Sumer, because there was a while I get down this rabbit hole, and I think this happens to everyone to some extent or another, where you get into one topic, so you look at a bunch of, like, YouTube videos and stuff about it. So there was a short period of time where I was really into videos about ancient Samaria. I haven't heard the toilet claim. Hold on. Sumerian toilet. Sumerian water toilet. The history of plumbing in Babylon. PlumbingSupply.com has an article about... Right on. To the ancient traveler on foot or camelback, the massive walled city of Babylon and its network of canals and verdant croplands must have loomed like a mirage on the simmering heat of the Near East sun. Adding to a disbelieving eye was a 300-foot-high ziggurat, or temple tower, in the city center, surrounded on all sides by lush gardens and date palm trees that swayed upon the terraced city. Located some 50 miles south of Baghdad in what is now Iraq, the flat land today is broken only by a series of desolate mountains. Blah 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 blah. Where are we getting to toilet stuff? Budding plumbers worked their ingenuity with the only available resources and unlimited supply: clay mixed with finely chopped straw. Copper was known to some extent from the beginning, while bronze was introduced in about 2500 BC from outlaying trade routes. Sometimes it was alloyed with tin, sometimes with antimony. Some working in lead was developed too at this time. Water was stored in large pottery jars, hand-carried from the river by household slaves. The jars were unglazed, which was an advance in the intensely hot climate. Being slightly porous, the blah, blah, blah. Okay, how are the fucking toilets worked? Typically, a bathroom of the well-to-do was a good-sized room, about 15 feet square, and built at the south end of the house. The lower parts of the wall were lined with baked bricks, as was the floor. However, the floor was overlaid with bitumen composition and powdered limestone. It sloped to the center of the room, where the water drained off in small runnels by baked and glazed earthenware tiles. Although the clay tubs were supposedly... Just come on. Toilet. Explain the toilet! Clay pipes that were buried underground carried their waste away. There you go. So I assume they basically had water in the room that they could sort of flush things down with. There you go. Kind of like irrigation, but with their shit.
The Temple of Inanna at the ancient city of Uruk still baffles.
This city, I believe, is this is a stupid thing to bring up, but I just noticed it because I think this city is appearing in the upcoming Eternals movie.
Us today with its splendor, its vibrant colors and depictions of strange animal creatures. Inanna was the ancient Sumerian goddess associated with love, beauty, sex, war, and political power. She was later worshipped by the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians under the name of Ishtar or Asherah.
Ishtar? Did someone say Ishtar?
Three, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, and...
These men are pawns. I put a price of 20,000 dirham on their heads.
Next, they will be hailed as the true messenger of God.
They were just a couple of songwriters who came to Ishtar to break into show business.
Easy boy, easy boy. What the hell's the matter with him? Is he blind?
Well, yeah, he is, but he's in perfect condition.
So how do they wind up?
I'm gonna have to cut this whole section out of the video.
He's in danger.
Behave normally. We have guns pointed at your back. No, don't put your hands up, you idiot.
Oh, little darling. My little darling.
I can't believe these men may control the fate of the Middle East.
Oh, where are you?
Do it.
What film is this? Ishtar.
This is unbelievable.
Are the two American messengers of God dead yet?
This is the oasis.
Does this look like an oasis to you?
Yeah, look at the birds. Are those vultures?
Just for you.
He's aiming at him.
Will you stop being paranoid?
They're trying to kill us.
Warren Beatty, Dustin Hoffman, Isabella Johnny.
Your girl. How did she get to be your girl?
Only you.
I think they're wonderful.
Ishtar, written and directed by Elaine May.
This is some of our best work.
Worth it.
Many researchers now believe she was Isis of the Egyptians, Diana of the Greeks, and Venus of the Romans. She was the consort of Baal, the deity who demanded child sacrifice. We shall later see whether this is true or not. The ancient culture of Sumer and its polytheistic religion expanded towards the northwest into Babylonia, then even further west. It went to what we now know as Canaan and Phoenicia. More about this group later. There was a second group. They went further north, all the way to the region we now call Ukraine and southern Russia, between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. There they took on the name Khazars and called their new homeland the Kingdom of Khazaria, after their ancestors.
You missed the era of the movie. It felt
Joseph
wholesome.
Chagan, king of the Khazars, explained in a letter to the foreign secretary of the Caliph of Cordoba, Hasdai ibn Chaprut, that his people were direct descendants from Japheth, son of Noah. Khazaria was right at the center of the northwestern Silk Road. Merchants who traveled through Khazaria had to pay toll, a lucrative way to swell the coffers of the kingdom. The Khazars were different than the peoples from the surrounding countries. They were described as thieves and spies. They were said to be lawless people who lived a life of sin, of sexual extremities, and of cruelty.
Because if I know anything about history, it's that no civilization has ever unfairly demonized a different civilization for behaving differently than them. It's always true when you say the other is degenerate sexual perverts. It's never just being xenophobic, okay? It's always true.
They would murder travelers from other countries and adopt their identity. They were masters of deceit. And, last but not least, they were said to worship Baal, also referred to as Moloch, a representation of Lucifer that demanded child sacrifice.
Again, no, Lucifer is a thing that comes much, much later. Claiming everything you don't like is Satan is a thing a child does. Profane Priestess says, saying all those gods are the same is so ignorant. Gods can be adapted and converted from one culture to another, but direct chains like that don't exist. Sure. It's interesting looking at the lineage of various gods. I have a book I got some years ago. It's been a while since I read it, but it's all about sort of the history of gods and the lineage of how certain gods get adopted by other civilizations and convert them into their own thing. It's very interesting.
Return, Baal was said to reward them with riches, with fame and fortune. The neighboring countries despised them. They hated their sacrificial rituals in which they threw babies into the flames or cut them open to drink their blood and eat their flesh, claiming it gave them incredible power and energy and eternal youth.
It didn't, though, because that's not how anything works.
Urged by these surrounding peoples, the Russian ruler knew he had to do something. In the year 600, he warned their king, Bulan.
We just jumped so far. Morok says, Baal is also known as Baal-Zebub, according to the books I've read.
That their Luciferian practice,
which later becomes Beelzebub,
had to end. He told him they had to convert to either Judaism, Christianity, or Islam. The choice was his. Bulan chose Judaism. But he did not really convert. He merely took elements from Judaism and forged them into his own Luciferian belief.
Jesus Christ. Nick says, kill babies, worship Satan, and eat hot chip. Andrew Batella says, fun fact, the name Lucifer isn't actually biblical. The passage in Isaiah in Hebrew and in contemporary translations talks about the morning star, the planet Venus, but by the Middle Ages that reference seems to have taken a life of its own, tied to the Latin name for the morning star. Mike Mack says, it's funny how Hades is viewed as the Satan of the Greek mythology, even though he basically is the chill god that wants to work, unlike his family, mostly Zeus, who will assault multiple women. Yeah. Robert Morley, welcome. Thank you for subscribing with 2-month streak.
King Bulan and his people lived on and prospered. Nothing much had changed, except for the fact that for our...
Guys, did you know that there's never been a civilization in history that collectively worshipped Satan? Did you know that there has literally never been a civilization in history that the official religion was Satanism? Fun fact.
Outsiders, they now called themselves Judeans, which they were not.
I feel like this is probably pretty racist or something, what she's saying right now. Just putting it out there.
Mind you, the name Jew wasn't invented until the 18th century.
Oh, this is gonna be anti-Semitic as shit. This is gonna be super anti-Semitic. The original Lila, thank you for gifting a sub. So, I'm assuming they're gonna then go on to say that this group of people who are Jewish are not actually Jewish, and therefore they're not anti-Semitic for being anti-Semitic, because they're not really Jewish. It's gonna be that whole thing. Oh, thank you, by the way, Robert Morley, for it was a tier 3. I completely failed to notice that. Thank you. Tucker White says, first, Andrew Batella, this is Tinfoil Tuesday, not religious history class. We're here to watch Hannah make penis jokes and game the streams. Also, I tune in late. What the fuck is this? This is Fall of the Cabal Part 2.
4 centuries went by. In 965 AD, the Russian...
We've jumped from, like, 2500 BCE to the year 900 in the span of like 5 minutes. I feel like they're missing a lot of historical events that happened. Profane Priestess says, fun fact, Beelzebub's name was changed for political purposes. He was originally a pretty chill god known as the Lord on High, but the Semitic tribes called him the Lord of the Flies to slander the culture he came from. I think I actually did know that.
Ruler, Grand Prince of Kiev, Sviatoslav I, felt they had gone too
Paid
far
6 months
with their
in advance,
continued
strange
devil
sugar
worshipping
daddy.
and
You
child
sure are,
sacrifice.
thank you.
He decided to wipe them out. But the Khazars had their spies everywhere.
Nick, thanks for
and the Russian cunning plan
becoming the
was
stream
brought
boss.
to the ears of the Khazarian king, who, just in time, fled the country with his 25 wives and 60 concubines.
60 concubines. I don't even understand. When I ever hear about like ancient kings or whoever who have like consorts and concubines and stuff, and they're like, they had like 60 concubines. It's like, damn, really? Like, I don't know. If I'm back in the day and I gotta pick a role as a woman, I'll probably be a concubine. Because if you're one of 60, honestly, you could go like 2 months without having to deal with that dude, and you're probably still living in the palace, eating grapes or whatever concubines do. Maybe someone's fanning you with a palm leaf. I don't know. Ilium Gal says someone who actually knows what they're talking about.
Hello, my name is Irving Finkel, and I'm a curator in the British Museum in the Middle East Department, and this is Curator's Corner, once more.
Yeah, blood libel.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about demons, ghosts, sprites, things that caused trouble to ancient persons in Mesopotamia, and how those who thought they could deal with them dealt with them. So they had a
Please
rather
sounds like quick
interesting
motion. Can you be quick with 60 concubines? There's definitely a premature ejaculation joke in there somewhere, but I'm not going to go searching for it. Tucker White says 60 concubines? You really need 60 concubines? I mean, I'd understand 59, but 60?
Mesopotamian culture, that's to say the Sumerians and especially the Babylonians and
A lot of
Assyrians
concubines were there for political reasons, closer ties to royalty. So similar to like arranged marriages, but like not quite that serious. Okay.
Were born, they were kind of put under the protection of a particular god. And this god had responsibility for you as you grew up and went through life. Now, this is rather a nice system, but the trouble about it is that the Mesopotamian view of deities was modelled on their view of the human race, which, of course, has the result that the individuals are unreliable, they tell lies, they are adulterous, they get drunk, they get bored, they get easily distracted, and the gods did the same. So this meant that it wasn't 24-hour coverage, and this had a bad consequence, because there were lots of things that largely you couldn't see, which were waiting to zap you. And if you've been abandoned by your personal deity, or you've been particularly unpleasant in your behavior to somebody else, they might come for you. So some of these demons are very identifiable. The choicest one is called Lamashtu, and this Lamashtu is a...
Interesting. Tucker White says, then again, I imagine with 60 concubines, you'd pick a few of them to do freaky stuff your main concubines won't go for.
Plus an enormous amount of gold and silver. The entire exodus of royalty and nobility went via Hungary to Poland, then from Germany southward to France and Spain. Everywhere they went, some were left behind. In order to reveal their true identity, they called themselves Ashkenazi Judeans.
Oh god, this is so bad. Old enough to know better now, thanks for 13 months. Lucky number 13 months. And Morak says, how does this man eat without getting food in his beard? I used to have a beard as big as that before I came out. Still trimmed the mustache. He's just very careful. Tucker White says, don't give me that sighing shit, Hannah. You should know your audience by now. I do. That's why I'm disappointed.
Knowing very well that their new home countries would not exactly be eagerly awaiting Luciferian Khazars.
They're not Luciferian. They're Jewish, you anti-Semitic sack of shit. Nick says, cat, cat, cat. I love you, cat. We all love you, kitty.
Ashkenaz, by the way, was the name of a region they inhabited during their migration from Sumer to Babylonia to the Caucasus. Like all regions at that time, this one too was called after the descendants of Noah. Ashkenaz being a grandson of Japheth and great-grandson of Noah. Now don't worry, you don't have to remember any of this. We just need to tell you from a historical point of view.
Historical point of view. Biblical family trees. Pick one. Robert Morley says, love the cat. Have my own right here. Good. Give your kitty a pet for me.
It does explain a lot, though, as Japheth, son of Noah, had two grandsons, Ashkenaz and Togarmah, who became arch-enemies according to rabbinic literature. Now, the people we are dealing with here descended from Togarmah, yet they adopted the name of their arch-enemy, Ashkenaz. Why? We will soon find out. Just remember this. It was all by design. The Ashkenazim settled in their new homelands and swore to rebuild their empire. In no time, they built up an empire of wealth and influence.
Tucker White says, question, woman in this recorded video, what proof is there Noah ever existed? Bible. She's just gonna say Bible. Honestly, the fact that this video came out October 17th, 2020, I've noticed that, the anti-Semitism in the QAnon community has been there for a while, but I've seen a lot more mask-off anti-Semitism, and I'm wondering if this has anything to do with it. Because these videos are popular amongst the QAnon people. This has 654,000 views on BitChute. This isn't a video no one's seen. Over 500,000 people have watched this video. So I genuinely wonder if this video has something to do with the rise in open anti-Semitism in the Q community.
After all, they were the royalty and nobility of the ancient bloodlines of Sumer and Babylonia. They had the startup capital, so to speak. They swore to take revenge on Russia, the country they had been expelled from. Their revenge also stretched out to the Jews, as in the original people from Judea. Why? Because back in the time of Princess Jezebel, during a situation in which two deities were challenged, they chose Yahweh over Baal. That was their death sentence, as the Khazari and Ashkenazim would never forget nor forgive. Within a few years after they had settled in Europe, they formed an absolute master plan. A plan so big, so intelligent, and so evil, it would change the fate of the world forever.
Oh, this is gonna be so bad. I mean, it's already bad, but she's outright gonna be like, here is the master. This is terrible. Tucker White says, I'm surprised it has this many views given what a charisma black hole this woman is. Well, a lot of people apparently are really wanting reasons to be anti-Semitic. Did we already do the anti-Semitism thing? Where is it? We must have already done it. It's got to be covered. Yeah, we already did. Okay. We have not had Baja Blast yet, no.
One of the Khazarian families that had joined the exodus from Khazaria was the Rothschild family.
Here we go.
That's right, the Rothschilds I talked about in part 2 of my previous series. They settled in Frankfurt, Germany, where they became wealthy and powerful through trade and banking. They called southern Germany Ashkenaz, as a tribute to their ancestry.
Krizia says, who the fuck is Yahweh? It's Jehovah or Yahweh, depending on your translation. And Halloween Town says, someone demonstrates poor understanding of Eastern mythology. Sure. I can get behind that.
They offered notes to travelers who left behind their gold and silver, safely stored in the vaults of the Rothschilds.
Yeah, that's how banks work. Original Lila says, sorry, got to go eat before D&D tonight, Hannah. Love the stream and has given me so many ideas. Hope the rest goes well and the Cabal doesn't get you. P.S. You're looking great. Well, thank you.
Banknotes against deposits. This way they collected an unprecedented amount of riches that, combined with the interest they received, were further used to extend their wealth.
Yeah, that's how banks work. You know why historically in Europe and a lot of places, old banking families, there are a lot of them that are of Jewish ancestry? The reason is because the Bible prohibits usury. Usury being loaning out money for interest to make money, which Christians used to follow, so they couldn't go into banking because it was against the Bible and is against biblical law to make money and interest off of loans. That wasn't a rule for Jewish people, so the town bank or whatever would often be run by someone who was Jewish, and this somehow led to a lot of there's a lot of reasons for anti-Semitism, but I think that's part of it, which is so funny because it's a self-inflicted wound, right? Like, Christians made a rule themselves to follow to not make money on loans, and then they get mad when someone who is not part of their religion doesn't follow that rule? Like, what the fuck?
And thus, their power. Meyer Amschel Rothschild had 5 sons who became powerful bankers in 5 large cities: Frankfurt, London, Paris, Vienna, and Naples.
Maybe they made that rule as an excuse to hate Jewish people? I don't think so. Freiserburn says, it's the stick in the bike spoke meme again.
In no time, they gained financial power over all.
Oh, I guess we should not make this a race issue then. Not make this an ethnicity or religious issue, and just say generational wealth creates entrenched power structures within families and dynasties, so we should tax the wealthy at really high rates, especially on inheritance. That way we don't have these dynastic situations that, you know, give people too much power. That'd be great. It's not a racial thing. It's not a... Why turn this into an anti-Semitic thing? I hate it. I hate it so much.
Of Europe. They became the personal bankers of kings and queens. They even became the treasurers of the Vatican. Before we continue with an event in the 18th century that has been deliberately erased from our history books, we have to pause this storyline and go back to the early Middle Ages for a second storyline. The two will meet during this 18th century event. And when they do, things will fall into...
Again, we've gone from ancient Samaria to the 1800s in 12 minutes. I've said this before, but the whole idea of conspiracy theories being a way to try and simplify the world that is incredibly complex that people don't want to learn to understand or can't deal with not understanding, because again, the world is so complex. No one person could understand it all. Distilling all of human civilization down to 12 minutes. That's pretty simplified, and making everything bad that you think has ever happened because of one group of people. Disgusting. Vast Lunacy says it's easier than actually dismantling unhealthy systems, I guess. Ugh.
To place, I promise. We'll start in the age of the Crusades. In 1048 AD, an organization was founded that we refer to as the Order of Malta. They were founded in Jerusalem. Their goal was dual. One arm of the order ran a hospital in the Holy Land to tend to Christian pilgrims. The other arm was military, tasked by Rome to protect Christians against the local Muslim population. Their symbol? The equal-armed Maltese cross. During the first 50 years of their existence, Jerusalem was Muslim territory. The amount of Christian pilgrims who went to Jerusalem was limited, even by Islamic law. In 1096 AD,
Are they seriously about to go and be like, actually, the Crusades were a good thing?
the first of 9 wars broke out. They became known as the First Crusade. The Crusades were religious wars initiated and supported by the Roman Catholic Church. Their goal was to recover the Holy Land from Islamic rule. 3 years after the Crusaders had left for the Holy Land, this goal was achieved. Godfrey de Bouillon and his brother Baldwin, leaders of the First Crusade, became rulers of Jerusalem. The Crusades may have been romanticized in literature and movies, but the truth is, they were insane religious wars focused on nothing but death, destruction, and forced conversion. An estimate of nearly 2 million people died.
Oh, good. So you're recognizing that the Crusades were bad. That's good. Low bar. Tucker White says, as if I've not heard this asinine argument enough from the skeptic or septic community.
In 1118, a French knight by the name of Hugh de Payan founded a military order together with 8 relatives and friends. They called the order the Poor Knights of the Temple of King Solomon, later known as the Knights Templar.
You were blocked by Liberty Hangout today. Congrats.
From a secret society called the Prieuré de Sion, the Priory of Zion, an order that, by the way, is still alive and active today. With the support of the King of Jerusalem, the Knights Templar set up headquarters on the sacred Temple Mount. Their official goal was to protect pilgrims on their way from Europe to Jerusalem. In and of itself, this is fascinating. 9 knights were officially appointed to protect Christian pilgrims over a distance of 4,000 to 5,000 kilometers.
That sounds pretty ineffective.
God only knows how they did it.
Probably poorly?
Their not-so-official goal was to rebuild the Temple of Solomon that had been destroyed in 586 BC by the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar. Why this was so important to them, we will show later on. In 1129, the Order of the Knights Templar received the official support of the Roman Catholic Church.
Rublum says, people like this have an amazing talent of saying so much while saying nothing. Either way, feel like you need a nap afterwards. D with Goblin says, morning Hannah, just got that sweet marking pay, so take my biddies. You look super cute with your hair pulled back, by the way. Thank you.
The order grew abundantly, and donations came pouring in from all over Europe. The knights adopted a code of conduct in which they swore unfailing obedience to the master. According to researchers, the principle of obedience made the Knights Templar lethal. They acted swiftly and with certainty to do as they had been commanded. A force of Templars became an extension of the will of its commander, the Grand Master. At the height of their power, the Order of the Knights...
That's literally a screenshot from Assassin's Creed. Look, Altair's right there! Oh wait, no, that's one of the other... No, this is from one of the early scenes where, I think they captured one of the assassins and they're gonna kill him.
Knights Templar...
And then you climb up on this tower to the left here, and I think you drop, like, wood or something on the Templars. It's been a while.
Comprised of almost 20,000...
Can I imagine what aliens observing the Earth at this time thought of religious war nonsense? I don't think aliens observe the Earth. So, but if they were, hypothetically, yeah, it would be silly.
Members. Only 10% were armed knights. The other 90% took care of infrastructure and logistics.
No spoilers. When did Assassin's Creed come out? Like 2008? The first one. 2007. The first one came out in 2007. We are far beyond spoiler warnings for this game. Spoilers, at the end of Iron Man says, "I am Iron Man," and reveals his secret identity to the crowd. Ilium Gal says, in real life, the ultimate origin of the blood libel is actually in my home city of Norwich in the UK. In the 12th century, when the murdered body of a young boy was found in the woods just outside the city, and local Jewish people were blamed, the child was made a saint, and Edward I used it as an excuse to expel all Jews from England, setting the trend for centuries to come. I quite often walk past the spot where the blood libel came to be. That's fucked up beyond belief. Thank you for sharing, though. Interesting. Crusader37 Gamer, thanks for subscribing for 6 months, says, what's good? Cool Cat says, Ass Creed was spoiled before release by a VA in an interview. I remember that. Tucker White says, spoiler alert, Rosebud is a sled. How dare you?
Even though the knights had sworn to a life of poverty, the order was excessively rich, owning large plots of lands, farms, vineyards, mills, horses, arms, equipment, the island of Cyprus, and an impressive fleet of ships. All the way from Europe to Jerusalem, in every city, they had monasteries, castles, churches, universities. They were so powerful, they did not need to obey local laws. They could pass freely across all borders. They didn't have to pay taxes, and they were exempt from all authority except that of the Pope. Furthermore, everything they took from the Muslim population that they subjugated and murdered on their way was given to the order. Did they have these privileges in writing? Oh yes, Pope Innocent II took care of everything by signing the papal bull Omne Datum Optimum in 11.
I was wondering why they were railing against this, considering so many QAnon people are Christian, and then I remembered most of them are Protestant and they hate the Catholic Church and they hate the Pope. So they're demonizing Catholics. Gotcha. Nick says, spoiler alert, at the end of 1-4, your princess is in another castle. That's mean. I've been trying to get there for 20 years. Someday I'll beat 1 too. Tucker White says, so the Knights Templar were super rich? Surprise! Raiding other people's lands and stealing their shit makes you wealthy.
39. All the order had to do was swear obedience and allegiance to the Pope. There was one area, though, in which the Templars truly excelled. Banking. They had a network of banks in many countries that enabled pilgrims to deposit assets in their home countries and withdraw funds in the Holy Land. By the 13th century, the Templars had become such competent and trusted bankers that European kings and nobles who embarked on crusades to the Holy Land often forwarded large cash sums to the Templars that could be withdrawn later so they could pay their armies. The Templars even gave out loans to rulers. They excelled in everything they did, for which they were overloaded with donations, gifts, fame, and fortune. However, in the early 14th century, the Knights Templar met their final destiny. King Philip IV of France. This man was heavily indebted by the order. When he asked for even more loans, the order refused. King Philip decided it was time for the Knights Templar to meet their maker.
Imagine having a loan due, and instead of paying the loan because you can't, you're just like, screw it. I'm gonna kill the bank. Tea with Goblin says, are they going to mention the Templar connection to Baphomet? Less anti-Semitism, more genderqueer goat titties, please.
On Friday the 13th of October 1307, a multitude of knights were arrested, including their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay. After years of imprisonment, he and many others were burned at the stake.
Imagine being defeated by a guy named
Medieval
Philip.
documents state that Malay called out a curse over the king and the Pope, Clement V, who had failed to protect them against the wrath of the king, and who had even dissolved the order through his papal bull, Vox in Excelso. Although the Pope dissolved the order, he did not formally condemn it, which would have been normal in those days.
That's such a vague general claim. It definitely makes me think that's not true. How would you know that? What does that mean? What?
1 month later, Pope Clement died. 8 months later, King Philip died. Ironically, the Pope's body was burned to ashes by a fire that was caused by lightning that struck the church where he was lying in state. The king died of a stroke he suffered during a hunt. But, contrary to what
Am I supposed to think it's like divine intervention or something?
our history teachers have told us, the Order of the Knights Templar did not end here.
Oh, we're going into real... I was going to say Mass Effect. We're going into real Assassin's Creed shit now. Okay, great. Logarth says, Jacques de Molay, Grand Master of the Knights Templar, was tortured to death protecting the secrets of the Order, where the money was, by his French king. De Molay is not the name of the junior Masonic order for Boy Scouts age kids to join Masonry. I know, I was in it after I got out of the Boy Scouts. And then Chrysia says, there was no Friday the 13th in October 1307. Nice. And then Tucker White says, okay, I've lost the plot. Who's the anime protagonist according to this woman?
New orders were founded with new names that were
I think Protestants are. I think white Protestants.
basically the continuation of the Knights Templar. Think Military Order of Christ in Portugal, Supreme Order of Christ in Italy, and so on and so forth. In every European country, the Knights Templar simply lived on the way they had, as if nothing much had changed. Only the order names had.
Villain's backstory.
The Order of the Rosicrucians appeared, founded by Christian Rosenkreuz, a German aristocrat. Was it connected to the Knights Templar? Absolutely. The sign of the equal-armed cross of the Knights Templar was combined with a rose. It can be found in medieval churches across France, Spain, and Portugal. Yet another secret order was founded in 1534, 2 centuries, 2 decades, and 2 years after the official dissolution of the Order of the Knights Templar, the Jesuit Order. The Jesuit Order was a Catholic religious order founded in Paris. Make no mistake, though, the Jesuit Order was not an order of pious monks worshipping Jesus from within the walls of their safe monasteries. It was a military order of extremists who had sworn an oath of absolute submission and obedience to the Pope and to their superior general.
Hold on. The Society of Jesus is a religious order of the Catholic Church, headquartered in Rome. It was founded by Ignatius of Loyola and 6 companions with the approval of Pope Paul III in 1540. A member is called a Jesuit. The society is engaged in evangelization and apostolic ministry in 112 nations. Jesuits work in education, research, and cultural pursuits. Jesuits also give retreats, minister in hospitals and parishes, sponsor direct social ministries, and promote ecumenical dialogue. The Society of Jesus is consecrated under the patronage of Madonna della Strada, a title of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and it is led by a superior general. The headquarters of the society, its general curia, is in Rome. The historic curia of Ignatius is now part of the Collegio del Gesù, attached to the Church of the Gesù, the Jesuit Mother Church. Members of the Society of Jesus are expected to accept orders to go anywhere in the world where they might be requested to live in extreme conditions. This is because St. Ignatius, its leading founder, was a nobleman who had a military background. Accordingly, the opening lines of the founding document declare that the society was founded for whoever desires to serve as a soldier of God, to strive especially for the defense and propagation of the faith, and for the progress of souls in Christian life and doctrine. Jesuits are thus sometimes referred to colloquially as God's soldiers, God's Marines, or the Company. The society participated in the Counter-Reformation and later in the implementation of the Second Vatican Council. Cool. So basically they're just like an arm of the Catholic Church that goes places and does things.
Good morning, everybody.
Spreading the religion and all that jazz.
Let's have a look at their initiation oath.
Missionaries.
I declare that I have no opinion or will of myself, but without hesitation I will obey every command I receive from my superiors in the Popes and Jesus Christ's militia. I promise further and declare that when the opportunity arises, I will conduct a ruthless war, secretly or publicly, against all heretics, Protestants and liberals, as I am instructed to do, to exterminate and destroy them of the whole earth, and that I will not spare age, sex, or class, and that I will hang up, burn, boil, cook, peel, strangle, and bury these shameful heretics, rip the stomachs and wombs of their wives, and crush the heads of their children against the wall, for the purpose to destroy their horrible race forever.
Yeah, sounds like a holy war rhetoric. It's gross.
If this cannot be done openly, I will secretly administer the cup with poison, the strangling rope, the steel of the dagger, or the leaden bullet, regardless of the honor.
The leaden bullet. Okay, I'm immediately suspicious of this now. What's her source on this?
Rank, dignity, or authority of the person or persons, as I will at any time be instructed by an agent of the Pope or superior of the Brotherhood of the Holy Faith of the Order of Jesuits. In confirmation of which I hereby dedicate my life, my soul, and all of my corporal powers, and with this dagger which I now receive, I will subscribe my name written in my own blood, in testimony thereof. And should I prove false or weaken in my determination, may my brethren and fellow soldiers of the militia of the Pope cut off my hands and my feet, and my throat from ear to ear, my belly opened, and sulphur burned therein.
We're Jesuits,
with
a
all
bunch
the
of high school
punishment
edgelords.
that can
Kind
be
of sounds like
inflicted
it.
upon me on earth, and my
If
soul
this
be
quote is
tortured
even
by
real.
demons in an eternal hell forever. Not exactly what you would expect from an order of Jesus, right?
What are you talking about? Christians are super violent all the time. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, I'm supposed to be like, oh my goodness. Someone following Jesus and being violent? How strange.
Mind you, when we refer to the Jesuit order in relationship to the Cabal, we are not talking about the lower segments of the order. I personally know of Jesuit priests who are wonderful human beings and who've brought a lot of beauty and wisdom into this world. What we're referring to here is the top of the pyramid, the absolute elite of the order, better known as the Jesuit Council. Documents from the Golden Age show us that the Jesuit order grew into an extremely powerful group of men. Their influence went far beyond the religious world. It stretched all the way into the secular.
The separation between church and state is a relatively new concept that's not shocking at all. The interplay between the Catholic Church and local governments and monarchies is well documented. It was... a lot of nations' histories are shaped by the relationship between the local monarch and the Pope and how they got along, so...
Traded the old Masonic lodges. The Masons were skilled tradesmen in the construction trade. They worked with their hands. They worked hard. Physical labor. The infiltrated Jesuits were allowed to join because of their contributions in the area of architecture, science, and arts. They were called the Free and Accepted Masons, hence the name Freemasons.
We did it!
Freemasons were wealthy men with a special knowledge of architecture. It is known that they were especially interested in the Temple of Solomon.
Probably because I would imagine they considered it an architectural masterpiece.
Just like the Knights Templar.
Robert Morley says they want to eliminate the separation of church and state as long as it's their church. WTF, yeah. They're hypocrites.
Furthermore, they were focused on the preservation of esoteric knowledge. For instance, about the Kabbalah.
Okay. I don't know if that's true or not in regard to the Freemasons. I kind of doubt it. It was a trade union, but whatever.
The nation with the Temple of Solomon is not the only link between the Freemasons and the Knights Templar. Even today, the York Rite administers 3 orders of Masonry, one of which is the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar of the York Rite is a military branch of the Freemasons, just like the medieval order of the Knights Templar.
The military branch of the Freemasons. You know how Freemasons go around and murder people.
They both have the symbol of the equal-armed Red Cross. So, in short, the Freemasons were a highly secretive group of powerful...
Oh, it's thunder. I was like, what is that noise? If the stream ends suddenly or something, it's because my power went out. We're supposed to get a thunderstorm.
Jesuits, who had infiltrated the countless Masonic lodges across the world. They founded their own umbrella lodge in 1717, the Premier Grand Lodge of England, and that would turn out to be their salvation. What happened? The Jesuits had become way too powerful to the liking of 80 heads of states worldwide who obviously felt threatened by the powerful order. They banned the order and put pressure on the Pope, Clement XIV, to do the same. In 1773, the Pope succumbed to their demand. He promulgated the Dominus Ac Redemptor, the Bull of Extinction, that put an end to the Jesuit order.
Tucker White says, I feel like I'm hearing every YouTube conspiracy theory of the last 16 years. Now I'm just wondering how 9/11 plays into this. Nick says, first met in 1717, that means Q is real.
It seems indeed history repeated itself.
This is only part 1 of 10, so I would imagine, oh no. This is a 17-part series. This is even longer than the last one. Ugh. So they probably do get into 9/11 at some point.
But guess what? It didn't end there. Just like the Knights Templar before them, they continued using another name.
Yeah, we'll be chipping away at this one for a while.
In this case, the Freemasons. 1 year after his betrayal of the Jesuits, Pope Clement was murdered by poisoning. Just like the Luciferian Khazars, the Jesuits too, and their predecessors like the Knights Templar, had a taste for revenge. Now, we promised that our 2 storylines would come together at an historical event that would massively impact the world. We have finally reached that point. Do you want to know what happened? Follow me to part 2.
Oh, you bitch! What a cliffhanger. I need to know, how did the... This is so terrible. They're still only on part 13, by the way, so they're not even done with this series. Ugh. I'm not going to watch part 2 right now. I'm going to save it for next week. But I am curious what the event is that she claims is the... Maybe it's the Is it the French Revolution? It was something about the King of France. I'm very interested. Wait, was that Archduke Ferdinand? Okay, we're done with the Cabal thing for now. Is it Jezebel? Okay, let's find some other dumb shit to watch.
He's a little sketchy, that guy.
Yeah, what you changed?
Check my video feed to make sure see how it looks. Can you have your phone so you can check the video feed and make sure?
Does nothing but spread
The Pride Posse. That's what they're calling themselves, the Pride Posse. The Pride Posse is going to be in hell.
This is a pastor that we've looked at before. This probably belongs on Chud Watch, but this is him going to a Pride event and being an asshole.
And all these people leading you in here are leading you to hell and disease.
You guys spread more venereal diseases than all other demographics combined. Those are real statistics. You don't believe me? Go to the CDC.
All of you and your choices.
Nick says, quote, homosex is a threat to national security. No, you're thinking of getting pissed on by Russian hookers. And Mike Mack says, hey look, Christians being prideful, how ironic.
How many homosexuals have to die of some horrible disease or suicide for you to figure out that what you're doing is stupid?
Fucking yikes, man.
That's why they're here. The manager said he saw what they did to us last night. Right. The homo.
Honestly, these losers are my favorite part of Pride. Because I like to go argue with them because I'm a trash bag person who gets their kicks out of arguing with idiots. Tiger White says, how much do you want to bet this pastor is at the Pride after party? The not safe for work guide. Tea with Goblin says, I like this, or if people like this are going to heaven, I'm simply delighted to be hellbound. Coat me in chocolate and fling me into the hot demon bitches. Oh god, cat fight. Sorry. Had to break that up.
So you guys missed some of the stuff here. The abolitionist Christians called us wicked devils while they confirmed that God loves the homos. God doesn't love us, but he loves the homos. That's American Christianity for you.
Wow, this guy's salty. Mike Mack says, Jesus said, love thy neighbor, and thou shalt not kill these Christians. I don't think I will.
Perverts. Sick, wicked, twisted perverts. Surrender your life.
They're down there with a half-mile hailer. There's a group of people on the bench that were sitting there for over 20 minutes, half an hour, and they didn't even pay them any mind. So love message doesn't work. And like I said, the other group that was here, they left. They left. They said that we were too hard. They didn't like it. They want to be associated with us. So apparently they don't really care about their souls.
So there were even other Christians there or something that wanted to come and try and save the people who were there for Pride. And they were so embarrassed by these guys they left. I wonder if they have any sort of self-reflection after they left.
They cared about these people's souls like they say, they wouldn't have left. But you see, for most of these Christians out here, it's about optics.
Why?
They came out here, preached, and they left. They got their footage, they left.
You can't act all innocent.
They would rather them go to hell than to sit here and stand with guys like us. But here's the abolitionists, guys. The abolitionists. They came over and told me I need to repent. They bore false witness and said things that I didn't say. Because he's not interested in it. He's more interested in us than the homos.
Jesus Christ. Oh, this is a Chud Watch guy. Nope. You don't get desk privileges, kitty. You've been bad. Sorry. Don't be so mean to your sister. I think this has something to do with lizard people? I'm not positive.
A real UFO contact that's happening. And I'm not going to say which UFO organization it is, but you could probably guess, that does investigations about UFO encounters. And they are now flooded with what they would call, they have a special word for it, I won't say it, they're flooded now with reports of alien human interaction, entity interaction directly with humans. They're just flooded with them. Reports from all over the place. The hybrids are here. They have gobs of people that look just like humans that can now pass as humans.
Did he just say hybrids, like hybrids, but human hybrids? But hybrid would already mean that, so he just, like, did a redundancy? Hybrids?
And except they are mine.
Yes, aliens on bingo, of course.
Are much more powerful, and they're now walking among us.
Button. We have Ken Swartz with us today. Always great conversations with Ken, and we're going to talk about this big disclosure right now. Is it fake disclosure, controlled disclosure? It seems as if they've been here an awfully long time.
He's talking about the fact that sometime later this month, I think I don't even remember which organization is, but they're debriefing Congress on UFOs or something. I think they already talked about it a little bit earlier in the month, but basically they're just saying, yeah, when we're up doing Air Force things or military things, sometimes we see things that we don't know what they are. That's it. That's the disclosure. Human debris equals hubris.
And now they want us to get all excited about these UFOs. However, with that being said, the disclosure that just came said, oh, they're not extraterrestrial. It's just phenomena that we can't explain. We can't explain it, folks.
That's literally what UFO means. It's Ceci says, they're walking among us. Sounds sus to me. Stay here, kitty. Leave your sister alone.
So it's like a Debbie Downer again. Wah, wah, wah. And then second half of the podcast, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, how powerful it is, how fast it is it aware, what is life, what is consciousness. There's actually a plethora of documented cases where people have been hurt or worse by a machine waking up at just the right time. So there's a lot of questions about.
So does he think various electronic devices are randomly becoming sentient?
About what these machines are in a conscious level, and there's even laws in Japan that Ken was telling me about that we're going to get into, but there's a lot to discuss today. Thank you for being here with us.
Behave, Lou. I can hear you. She's walking away like she's looking for trouble.
Siteleakproject.com. Also, you want to check out Ken's YouTube channel, C60 Purple Power on YouTube. Speaking of Purple Power, I love this stuff. I've got my friends and family taking it. Thank you, Ken. This stuff's amazing. I just got some, this is actually the coconut oil MCT, and it's cinnamon. It tastes delicious.
Oh, it is. We better have our C60 today before we go on. You need it.
A big swig of this.
Oh, God. Is that an essential oil? I don't think you're supposed to drink those.
Mm-mm.
So, Ken, let's talk about it, man. I like the cinnamon. And the MCT, it gives you that quick, that super fast bolt.
A while back, this was in the last 2 months, I don't remember specifically. And I like cinnamon a lot, but I bought I really like chocolate milk. And I saw a thing, and it was, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the cereal. It was special edition Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk. And I was like, that might be good, because I like cinnamon. It was not good. It was not good. Chat, you know what I don't need in my life? Milk with cinnamon in it, because that's exactly what it was. It was just milk with cinnamon. and it was too sweet. And I drank like a third of it, and I threw the rest away. Do I mean creamer? No, it was milk. It was milk for drinking on its own. It was not a creamer.
Jolt of bolts. Dude, this is crazy about the, like, disclosure. And they're like, oh, they get us all pumped up. They're like, oh, it's nothing.
Hold on, I can probably pull it up. See? Cinnamilk. Nestle Sensation Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored low-fat milk. It's disgusting. Thanks for asking. You could put it in your coffee, though. Sure. If you want, like, a little bit of milk and cinnamon, sure. But on its own, it was awful.
You're just looking at swamp gas, folks. Swamp gas.
Well, you see, it's going on. Well, two things are going on. One that people probably know about, and one behind the scenes that people don't know about. And, well, first off, we've been seeing, obviously there's something up with the military security complex, because they've been releasing, these UFOs, usually over water, around Navy ships or some F-16 chasing them, flying by. And we've seen, I'm sure most of your listeners out there have seen these things. And they're purposely letting these out, right? This is not, this is by the military industrial complex, but it's not the first one. They also had, like, for instance, the Luis Elizondo with the TTSA that supposedly, we're all you're never an ex-CIA agent, just by the way.
Except people who retire from the CIA or find a different job and leave the CIA, then you are an ex-CIA agent.
CIA agent, always a CIA agent. And this guy...
You probably still have clearance level stuff, like, how do I put this? That's not even what I mean. More like an NDA. Like, I imagine there are things that you still know that are probably classified depending on where you worked at the CIA and what you were involved in. But you could retire from the CIA.
He said he was doing other stuff, but actually at the time he used to be a UFO investigator for the CIA, where he'd go and intimidate witnesses when he said he was doing something else. So we know what it is. So he's just still on an assignment, as you could tell. And so they're going out and they're releasing it. But what are these guys talking about? Luis Alonso, Daniel Sheehan, that other guy with those. What are they always talking about now? The ET threat. Right? They're a security threat to the United States. It's not like they haven't been around forever. I mean, if they're that advanced and they wanted to take over, why didn't they take over 1,000 years ago? No.
They just got here, Ken.
Yeah, exactly.
Showed up, man.
But, and then there's, some of these things are, of course, human-made craft, like the Cash Landrum event in Texas. I don't know if your viewers are there. That was the atomic rocket. It had a problem. They had to land it on.
This guy's boring as shit. One second, I gotta reply to this idiot on Twitter. And then we'll move on to something more interesting. (19th to the 26th). Sorry, I'm scheduling something. Rublum, thank you for gifting a sub. Okay. No, this isn't Marcel. This is a flat earther.
Good morning. So what do we got going on? Jeff Bezos is going to space. Y'all know during the pandemic, Jeff Bezos' wealth increased by $24 billion.
Yeah, capitalism is a nightmare.
Boy. It's amazing how well this pandemic worked out for the pockets of the disgustingly rich.
The wealthy using disasters to make money is not a new thing. It doesn't mean those disasters were orchestrated or faked. It means that we live in a system that is incredibly predatory by its very nature, and we should probably examine that.
Right. They had a great year. And as we've seen time and time again, they're not held to the same standards. They're not forced to wear muzzles like we are.
Wealthy people also wore masks if they were around other people, and if they didn't, they were idiots. You can get diseases whether you're rich or poor, though if you're rich, you get better treatment.
Or they would like us to be. Of course, they do their virtue signaling when on camera, but when off camera, they seem to get caught time and time again, displaying their hypocrisy for the world to see. But
he saw 5 articles over the course of a year and a half of some idiot rich people not wearing a mask somewhere, and therefore he has decided no rich people wear masks ever.
Of course, if you've got billions of dollars, the virus can't touch you.
And there are dumb assholes like this guy who also don't wear masks, so he's not rich, he's just an idiot.
Crazy how that works. So he's going to space now, huh?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos apparently says he's gonna go on the first passenger flight of whatever Amazon space thing is. I forget the name. Blue something. Blue Origin, maybe.
Of course, my contention's been the whole time this entire pandemic was rolled out when it was rolled out, because they had to do something to lock people down because the truth was spreading far and wide. And they had to contain it, control it, stop people from meeting up, talking face to face where they can't be censored.
He thinks this is about flat Earth, I'm betting. Mike Mack says this guy spends more time on fiction than fixing his relationship with his family.
They can't be controlled. You know, like how humans did for hundreds of years before the babysitter nanny state internet came along, and now they can control everything we say and decide what we can and can't say.
What do you want to say that you can't say on the internet? Please, let me know. Which slurs does this particular chud want to say that he's mad Twitter won't let him?
Right, YouTube. Susan Goebbels. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you know, all these rich billionaires, Richard Branson, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, who else? I think Boeing was in contention everybody wants to go to space.
Yeah, the private sector is trying really hard to get into space travel. It's pretty lucrative because of the government contracts, and as the need for telecommunications and other things that need to go into orbit, satellites, potentially working towards mining asteroids someday, which is something some of these people want to do. Like, it's a business decision. They want to go into space so they can make more money, because they've already tapped the Earth's resources pretty hard.
Continually fail, but they all been trying to go to space for 30 years. Now Bezos is going to do it.
I do find it kind of funny that Richard Branson has been trying to do private space travel for decades, and then, like, SpaceX came along and was like, fuck you, you loser, and they actually did it. Hydrate? Okay.
So, you know, we know what to expect. A bunch of fisheye lens footage, or curved windows.
Thanks, Jellyfish. Have a good night.
I guess we know that it's all propaganda. There's no way Jeff Bezos, the head of Amazon, supplies everybody with their pandemic needs, lie to you. There's no way. I mean, forget he made $24 billion while you were stuck at home, struggling, depending on the government for stimulus checks and or eviction protection, all that, as Bezos.
Does he think eviction protection is a bad thing? Mike Mack says, America, there's something wrong in the system. Also, America, if you want to change the system, you're a communist. Rublum says, I hope his Minecraft house gets deleted by the admins.
Made $2 billion a month.
Yeah, that's gross. Jeff Bezos is a piece of shit.
You were stuck at home and had to order your shit off Amazon.
I ordered things from my local grocery stores. Because you can do that. That's what I did.
How convenient. Again. It's amazing how none of these tragedies ever negatively affect the billionaires.
Yeah. It's our economic system. It's bad.
And now he's gonna go to space.
He should stay there. Nick says, this idiot probably voted for Trump and Republicans, so stick in bike tire meme. I don't know if he did. I think he just doesn't believe anything about any politician. I don't know if he necessarily likes Donald Trump.
And keep the delusion going for all of these mind slaves that are under the control of the state due to their prison system known as a public school system. And more it is becoming exactly like a prison system. I don't care what you say.
I haven't stepped foot in a school since 1974, but let me tell you exactly what public schools are like.
Saw that coming from miles away. That's why my kids have never set foot in a public prison institution known as the school system, where they teach you a bunch of nonsense bullshit.
Those poor kids.
And make you think it's real. Because they'd never lie to you. Never mind the fact they do nothing but lie to us, but...
He's probably not allowed within 500 feet of schools.
We got, what else we got? Oh, Russia. They're now threatening to leave the International Space Station if the United States doesn't lift its sanctions from Russia.
Honestly, the ISS is on sort of the end of its life cycle anyway. It wouldn't surprise me if they probably just don't want to foot the bill for repairs anymore, because it's so, it requires a lot of repairs. Let's just say that.
Here's a crazy idea, Russia. Why don't you just tell the world that the moon landings were the bullshit fish story they are?
Because they aren't. Because we actually went to the moon.
Why don't you just tell them that, Russia? You know it damn good and well as I do, and everybody else that's woken up from the propaganda slumber they've been in. You know damn good and well the moon landings are bullshit, Russia. Why don't you just expose it? Oh yeah, because that would expose your space bullshit and all the other countries around the world. So, if they tell the truth about the United States, NASA, well, it's going to expose their own lies, isn't it? How convenient that is. So they'll make these little threats. Oh, we're going to expose...
Nick posts a comic, an XKCD comic. Your government is turned against you. Corporations control your every thought. Open your eyes. Wake up, sheeple. Wake up, sheeple. Rumble. Bah, 10,000 years we slumbered. Now we rise. Oh god, why did you do that? He awoke the sheeple. What the fuck? Great.
We're going to leave the space station. We're going to... You know, NASA has been going on about how the space station is becoming outdated and they want to turn it over to a private company for a long time.
That wouldn't surprise me. I really hope they build another one. I think the idea of the International Space Station is beautiful. But, the ISS is old, and it's coming to the end of its life cycle without major overhauls and basically completely replacing a bunch of the modules. Let me see, what year did it officially... Let me see, what year did they start it? It's been occupied for 20 years, 7 months, and 6 days. So yeah, and it's been in space a little longer than that because they obviously had to build it. It's old. For a space thing, 20 fucking years old, orbiting the Earth for 20 years. It's a long time.
What was it, a week or two back, there was supposedly some space debris that hit and damaged the space station, but once again, that just goes on, no big deal.
It's not a movie. Things can hit things and not irreparably damage them.
You know, it's just like a ding in your windshield. What did Don Pettit say? Well, if you get a leak, well, then you've got a leak. In a vacuum.
How would we take it down? It's too big. They'd probably separate the modules the same way they brought it up, but I don't think they'd do that. Because the modules aren't meant to come down. So I think they just keep it up there. I guess they could do controlled descents on some of the modules, probably, and have them, like, crash into the ocean, but it would completely screw them up. And honestly, I think the thing is too cool. Like, it should be a museum piece. I know it's huge, and how do you do that? But just keep it in orbit while you can. I understand that in and of itself, you know, you need energy and to run it to do that because they need to modify the orbit relatively often. But man, it would be such a shame if the ISS actually got destroyed. Robert Morley says, the LEM module is still parked on the moon 50 years later. It is. Old enough to know better now with 100 bits says, International Space Station of Theseus. Logarth says, negative. They would control descend and install orbital parachutes. Oh, that'd be cool. MW1642, thanks for 100 bits.
You. So, just all this space crap going on. So what Bezos is going to do his little trip on July 20th.
He is a flat earther, yes. We're on a hype train. Did I already say that? 34% to level 1. MW1642, thanks for 100 bits.
The anniversary of the first moon landing.
I would imagine that's intentional. Andrew Batella says, I've been watching the videos about the Webb Space Telescope that's supposed to launch later this year, and how everything has to go perfectly smooth because it's hard to get astronauts to the Lagrange point where they're putting it. Yeah, doing space repairs isn't easy.
And of course, conveniently, they're sending out the first, child tax credit checks July 15th. So everybody will have a little money in their pocket to get drunk and party it up while they watch the space propaganda.
Does he think these two things are related? He thinks the government is giving child tax credits specifically for people to celebrate a private company's space launch? What? Wow, okay. Oh, okay. Daddy Sume with 20 bits says, I really hope we don't have a Challenger accident with Bezos involved. That would be an utter tragedy. Robert Morley with 7,500 bits, which is the most ridiculous number of bits in the universe, says, by the way, love the horns. You look great today. Keep up the good work. Your bits sugar daddy. Thank you. Logarth says, also this guy reminds me of my uncle that we had to have committed because he was just broken. He was a Vietnam vet and he was big into conspiracy theories. He was sobbing and sad laughing and yamming like this when we confronted him. Yeah, it's honestly really sad. E-Tune with 200 bits says, child tax credits are for child raising, asshat. And Nick says, how do you get to the Lagrange point? I don't even know what that means, if I'm being honest.
Eat it up. Like it's cookies.
God damn, Robert Morley. What a mad lad. 19% to level 5.
So I'm sorry, I haven't been doing much lately, but it's just... it's had too much of a negative effect on me. Just the total refusal, inability, apathetic.
Robert Morley gets a 75k bits badge. Let's go, people. Finish up the hype train. Rublum with 95 bits says, I'm helping! My bits, probably.
Attitude of the people, that they cannot wake up to just the most basic, obvious truths. It frustrated me for a long time, and now it kind of gives me a peace that it's going exactly the people will say again. How can you believe the Bible, blah, blah, blah. Well, when you read it, it tells you people won't see the truth. They won't be able to see the truth. God will send them a great delusion, and they'll eat it up.
Kind of a dick move on God's part. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. Moon Griffin, thanks for subscribing with 4 months. Tea with Goblins, thank you for gifting a sub. 72% of the hype train. Ooh, Obsessive Observer with 1,000 bits brings us to the level 5 hype train. And Darth Hayes 2 with 100 says, it's not much, I'm going to help. Very entertaining stream today. Thank you. Yeah, we did it. Level 5. Fuck yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Because that's where their hearts are. Their hearts are idolizing men and their bullshit lies. So, you know, I had to take a break because it just, you know, it's like, where's people's pride? Where is their dignity? Where is their...
Robert Morley says, LOL, fuck yeah. I appreciate how invested you are in my hype trains, Robert Morley. Thank you.
Self-respect. Nowhere to be found. All they want is someone else to control their lives, tell them what to do.
That's ironic, considering he's quoting the Bible. Fraser Burns says, hell yeah, hype train completion. Thanks for the bits.
And it seems like every situation now. The world has become so dependent on the nanny state. Just a bunch of apathetic, ignorant, not, oh, they just don't know. No, they ignore. Ignorant. They ignore.
That's not what that means. Andrew Batella says, where's people's pride with 20 bits? Mike Mack says, conspiracy theories have both a hero complex and a victim complex. Bad combo.
Ignore the truth. Fight it with every fiber of their being. Because the truth is not in them. And until they can humble themselves.
Do the foil horns mean you'll be teaming up with Demon Mama now? Maybe someday we'll do something together. We've raided each other before. Excessive Observer, thanks for gifting a sub.
And drop their egos, which is not going to happen, you know? I thought for a long time, we can change this, we can do something. And thank you, Jesus, for letting me see and letting me know. And the more this goes on and the more people refuse to just accept the truth and allow these just scumbags. Why? Because they've got money. Do you know why they have money? Because they're more willing to lie, cheat, steal, and indeed kill to make that money than
capitalism
you are. They're more depraved than anyone else and will do anything for that money. Man cannot serve two masters. So, nothing wrong with getting your little side hustle on. Everybody's got to survive. I get it. But these super rich, elite, whatever you...
I find it funny that basically everyone seems to be on the same page in terms of fuck billionaires. Like, everyone from, like, you and me to conspiracy theorists to even a lot of people on the right are in agreement that billionaires are ridiculous and we all hate them. So why aren't we doing something? Like in terms of changing policy, like tax policy and stuff like that? Just saying. Everyone seems to hate them.
You want to call them. Sellouts is what I call them. Those whose love of money outweighs the love of God and the truth. Because there is no difference between God and the truth. I am the way, the truth, and...
Cats. Hey. It's okay, they weren't fighting. I misinterpreted a noise I heard. Robert Morley says, need a few more Senate seats to hold the House. Yeah.
And alive is what he told us. And it's never been more apparent. Because Jesus is hated more than anything in this world.
Okay, I'm sick of his sermon. Let's see what Elizabeth April is up to. Elizabeth April believes she is psychic, believes she is in communication with the, air quote, Galactic Federation, and is into a whole bunch of hippy-dippy bullshit. Let's see how she's doing.
Coming at you from my beautiful property here. I'll give you a little spin. These are the woods. That's the little guest house. This is kind of like our middle yard.
You did see the Jilly Juice lady.
There's the pond, and the garden, and some sheds. Oh my goodness, it's been a challenging morning, to say the least. I was totally fine. Yesterday, at the end of the day, I had this killer migraine. I've been really struggling with migraines. When I was a kid, I would have them all the time. And recently, it's been really good. And then, honestly, in the past month, it's been almost just nonstop. Actually, 2021 has been nonstop migraines. Wonder what that noise is.
It's the aliens.
Oh, it might be a smoke alarm. Anyway,
That's a weird reaction to a smoke alarm going off. Oh, it might be a smoke alarm. Are you gonna check it? Usually that's bad when that happens. Nick says, "Oof, I felt that. I had massive headaches in elementary school, typically on Mondays when I would go back on my Ritalin after not taking it all weekend. Oof."
And so it was so interesting. I woke up this morning. I was feeling really good. I read through all of your questions. I felt very pumped up about it. And then, yeah? Fire alarm. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Should we go and check if there's a fire? I don't know, man. Should we? Tea with goblins. That's properly gorgeous. There's gold in thar woohoo hills. Oh, the property is gorgeous, sorry.
Is there a fire?
Yeah, she makes a decent bit of money on this channel from what I've seen.
Okay, yeah, I heard that. Yeah. It's so new here. Like, everything's new. But yeah, and then I was totally fine. The migraine was gone. And Nat and I had a meeting, a business meeting about the new membership program, which I'm really excited about. But it was so interesting throughout that meeting, trying to think about business. I started feeling anxious, nauseous, and the migraine came back tenfold. And so when I tapped into the reason why this migraine is coming back, the exhaustion, the anxiety, here's what it is. Here's what came through for me, all right? We're flipping in between two very extreme energies right now. It is the definition of basically quantum leaping. When we go from a third dimension...
Like Scott Bakula? Do we need to call Scott? He hasn't done anything since Enterprise. I think he's probably available.
Density into a fifth dimension density, it's a huge leap. So it's going to create anxiety, it's going to create nausea, sometimes it creates extreme hunger. I've been waking up with hunger pains. I'm never ever really hungry, and I've been waking up with hunger pains.
Interdimensional energies are at play. Oh, why do you think that? I'm hungry.
And then the migraine as well. And what came through with the migraine is like almost like trying to balance the two different hemispheres of your brain and them kind of competing and clashing, and that causing a migraine, right? This disharmony. So this is what we're doing. Like, I know for me, being on the land and just being free and being connected to nature is 5D. It doesn't exist in space and time. Then all of a sudden when I have a business meeting, or I have to think about paying taxes, or I have
Tucker
to,
White says
you know,
Z.
basically bring myself
Oh, do you have a better video? Please provide me an entertaining video then.
back down, it creates this huge leap of like, now I need to be human. And that's been really affecting me, and I really just was able to pinpoint it like 20 minutes ago. I started doing some uploading techniques, very similar to the Vax course that I'm going to be
Ma Yang, thank you for subscribing with Prime.
releasing. And that helped, and honestly, just hopping on here with you guys is helping. Like, the headache, like, I'm telling you, it was so bad 10 minutes ago that I was like, I don't know if I can do this video. Also, I had a dream. Dreams have been crazy recently. I had a dream last night because I went to bed with this migraine, and I've been drinking water. Like, I've been hydrating myself. And my dream last night was I went to the doctor and I got an MRI scan or whatever, CAT scan or something, scan for the head. And the doctor said, oh my goodness, your pineal gland or pineal gland.
They are so obsessed with the pineal gland. Stop getting your medical advice from Beyond. The movie From Beyond. I hate it.
Is twice the size of like normal people, and that's exactly where that
I need to put pineal gland on the bingo card.
headache is. It's like right in the center of the back of my skull. It's very bizarre. And maybe that is just the pineal gland growing, which is interesting.
Okay, skip
Mosquitoes
ahead.
sucking all of my blood, right? Of course, we're talking. So these fairies were testing me in the woods. The only other time I've ever really fully communed with fairies was in the redwoods last November. When I was a kid, I used to literally see fairies everywhere and tell my dad about them all the time.
That's not good. Sky Comet Fallen says, auras aren't necessarily visual, depends on what area of the brain the migraine is. The sudden hunger is an aura. My auras are usually sudden mood swings. Interesting.
But in my adulthood, elementals hasn't really been my thing. So anyway, these fairies are testing me, and here's what they were testing me for. They literally asked this mosquito to come around and bug me to see how in harmony I was with nature. Do I react to nature, or am I a part of nature, right? So I failed the test. I literally failed their test, and I'm kicking myself and feeling guilty that I reacted to this damn mosquito. And then I'm like, okay. First of all, they're here, okay? Which is like, that was great for me to have the validation that this isn't just an empty forest. There's definitely an elemental presence, but they don't really trust humans. So I went back into meditation, I closed my eyes, quieted my mind, and now I'm like intending for harmony with nature, and I get this little tickle.
Daddy Zume says, bitch, animals react to mosquitoes too. Yeah.
On my lower back, right? And so I'm like, just breathe, just be in harmony.
Hydrate.
And so then my mind, my ego mind, my human mind is like reacting like, oh my God, what if it's a giant mosquito? And then I just start thinking about this giant mosquito sucking all of my blood, right? Of course, we're talking about vampires today. And then I like...
Vampires on the bingo card. That's a rare one. Where are vampires? Over here.
I react again. I'm like in harmony, but I'm struggling. And then I go like this to my lower back and I try and kind of like push it away. And then there's no bug. There's no bug at all. It's these damn fairies that are tickling my back to...
Can we do word salad? I don't think this is word salad. It's complete fantasy, but I understand the story she's telling. It's just a fake, stupid story.
Once again, test me again. Guess what? I failed. I failed the test for the second time. My eyes are open. I'm out.
Yeah, has no one gotten bingo? Because this is like crazy. We have a ton of stuff marked down.
Out of meditation. I'm kicking myself saying, I'm not passing these damn tests. And I'm kicking myself also for saying, I'm not in harmony. I'm not in unity with nature. And that sucks. But also having compassion for myself and understanding I need to heal. By ships. And this was in like... I think that was in Burlington, Ontario. It's just so wild. Actually, Nat came out to the I think it was by a psychic that I met.
Okay, I'm tired of listening to that lady. My ADHD is kicking in.
Pieces. Space. Everyone, I got some free reading information to check out on free time. Blow your mind. Gotta have open mind there. Space is fake. Come on, man. Would you like some free reading information you can check out sometime? 10 proofs you could do and 10 the Bible backs up. Bottom up. You know, bottom first, top up. Not work on a ball. Radars don't bounce around a ball. Hey, fellas, while we're online, can I give y'all some free reading information y'all can check out? 10 proofs.
It's just an obnoxious flat earther. Oh, this lady.
Today is January the 25th, 2021. The energies have been very dense today, so I hope everyone is traveling well. My name is Hakora. It is my Huna name. It means spiraling upwards, which is kind of funny because Speedy was my nickname at school. So this timeline is going to be probably the longest one I've done so far. I have been doing a few timelines, and I am aware that they're coming out very thick and fast because I'm very mindful that everyone has very important lives and they're very, very busy, and I don't want to take up a lot of time.
I wanted to get to her chart. Here it is. Okay, so if I were a prop person on a movie and I have to show that someone is crazy, and you got to make like a whiteboard in their house or whatever full of crazy people stuff, this is what I would draw.
I had this one down the bottom, which is the Phantom Matrix. So it was just sort of touching on kind of what they're doing and why they're doing it. I can probably delete these as I go now. So I'm not really expecting you to read any of this at this point. You just get a bit of an idea. 7, 8, 9.
My favorite fan theory about that episode is because Charlie is functionally illiterate, when everything says Pepe Silva, what he's really doing is reading Pennsylvania incorrectly on the letters because they live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So he's trying to read Pennsylvania and he's getting Pepe Silva, and that's why he's confused. Pepe Silva, Pepe Silva, Pepe Silva. It doesn't exist. All right, let's do Jilly.
It is Jillian. Okay, so yes, it is Monday. It is Memorial Day. It is the day that America remembers the ultimate sacrifice through ritual and ceremony of those that came before us and fought in all the different wars and conflicts. And it can be politicized or it could just be left alone. But given yesterday's transmission or the day before about ritual, sacrifice, and ceremony, you can take it for what it is. Okay, I'm not going to get too deep on that. So anyways, so yesterday I hung out with some people, some friends, and it was somebody's birthday, and it was also celebrating the weekend as well. It was nice. And we're also still in the beginning of spring, and spring is full of pollen.
What happened to her? Probably being dehydrated for a decade and a half hasn't helped her.
And
for those who don't know who this is Jillian Epperly, the creator of, quote, Jilly Juice, which she believes is sort of an alt-health panacea. She takes water, a bunch of salt. This has, I think, about half the salt concentration of seawater. At least it did. I think her new recipe actually has less salt in it. And cabbage and kale, and then she mixes it all together, blends it, and then leaves it to ferment. So it's fermented, salty cabbage water, and she thinks drinking a gallon of this a day will cure everything, including cure your gayness, cure being trans, air quote cure, and she thinks it'll help regrow limbs, all sorts of stuff. Ghostly, thanks for following.
We were actually away from the inner city. So
she went on Dr. Phil with this at one point. I've also seen a video of someone drinking it, and it's apparently awful.
we were more...
Oh, but also, this has given people... There's at least one person who had a stroke while on this because the level of salinity is way too high for you to be drinking. It dehydrates you severely. So some people have had some severe health complications from taking this stuff. They've given it to their kids. I saw one person who gave it to their dog, and the dog died, probably again of dehydration and malnutrition. So, it's not good. Yeah, Jeff Holiday has covered her pretty extensively.
We're out in the country, which means I had to get used to a whole new flora and fauna. Now,
oh, she also thinks it'll make you immortal. She thinks she is immortal.
About that is like a week or so ago, I was sneezing and sneezing and sneezing and sneezing and sneezing, and I felt like I even had to wear a mask because every time I went outside to take my dog out, I would come in just like everything just pouring out. I'm like, oh my God, this really sucks. But I knew that it was evolution. I knew that I needed to go through it. I needed to feel it, because if I were to take Claritin, if I were to take any kind of mucus drying substance, if I were to take any kind of medication, it would actually stop the evolution, okay? And so yesterday I felt, it actually was pretty cool. I was playing cornhole and ate a hamburger and ate some cupcakes
cornhole.
And hung out with some kids, and it was just like a really cool time, and it was nice respite, though I know my husband was like, oh, I want you to go walleye fishing with me today, and I'm like, as much as I don't want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe down the road when my book is done, yes, I'll go walleye fishing with you. So I decided to let him go walleye fishing, which he really wants to do anyways on his own, because I just, it's bottom bouncing. It's totally different than usual, just, jigging the crappy fish and all that. So anyway, so he's doing his thing, which is cool. But yesterday, yeah, I was eating a bunch of stuff, and I just felt all this stuff coming out, and I would keep blowing my nose. I wouldn't take any kind of medication, none at all. And yeah, actually I got a few mosquito bites, okay? I came home last night after I was so tired. I was like, oh my God, such a day of so much activity, when I'm usually just very chill and sedentary and doing my book and doing the Facebook Lives. So I had like 7... say I wanted to morph my body to be not as voluptuous. Let's say I want to get rid of my boobs and my butt and my little belly. Well, I would just eat less of the sugar and less of the carbs and drink more J juice, do all the release of the excess, right? And I'd be skinny again. So I can actually control my weight and my voluptuousness based upon now just saying, okay, well, I won't drink as many coffees. I'll do more of the running around and exercise and less of the food. And not that I would be starving myself, but I would just be playing with the constituents that I have. I'd be playing with what I would have, and if I needed to gain more...
The constituents?
...of the weight, then I would just eat more donuts and eat more of this. And so it's like, once you finally heal and seal, you'll be able to play with your weight and play with how you want to do your weight. Now, why am I more voluptuous now? Because I was like, oh my gosh, I was thinking like, my gosh, I have such boobs now, and I have a little bit of a butt, and I could do more squats, but I want to get a bigger butt, and be more like a Marilyn Monroe hourglass. Well, I've been putting all of my energy in my brain, and I'm putting my brain towards my book, and I'm really just focusing on the different concepts with my book, so I can make whatever it is I'm saying that much clearer with very, very, very distinct words that aren't going to be so confusing. And so that does take like brain food. I mean, that takes like nuts. So like nuts are brain food, steaks are brain food. Yeah, I was doing a bunch of coffee last week, and I might do...
E-Tune says, didn't she claim a while ago that exercise was bad? I think she did.
Instead of like the shots of a... Because yesterday I could have put one nail in my coffee.
Okay. Here's a QAnon follower thinking that the 10 Days of Darkness had begun earlier today when some websites went down because of some sort of cyber attack.
What's happening? Let's fucking go! Alright, everyone, you need to lift up your vibrations. Smile, positivity, let's go. It's happening. What's happening? Let's fucking go! Alright, everyone, you need to lift up your
Conspiracy theorist pharmacist sentenced for tampering with COVID vaccines under his charge. Former Wisconsin pharmacist who tampered with COVID vaccines sentenced to 3 years in federal prison. Stephen Brandenburg, the ex-pharmacist convicted of intentionally tampering with more than 500 doses of the Moderna vaccine at Grafton Hospital, was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison on Tuesday, June 8th. Brandenburg was a third-shift pharmacist at Advocate Aurora Health Hospital in Grafton when he admitted to intentionally removing dozens of vials of the Moderna coronavirus vaccine from refrigeration. Nick says Luann from King of the Hill has really let herself go. 57 doses were administered to co-workers of Brandenburg before hospital officials found out and destroyed the rest of the doses. The 57 doses were eventually determined to still be effective and did not produce health effects for the patients who received them. At a sentencing hearing, Brandenburg told the court he was greatly ashamed of his actions. Maybe you should have thought of that before you did it. Mike Mack says, how can a doctor and pharmacist fall for the QAnon BS? I don't know. Lots of stupid people. This person thought a thing from that Netflix movie is, it's a promotion for the Netflix show Sweet Tooth, but we know this is actually going on in secret. Yikes. Wow. People are crazy. Let me see. Greatly ashamed of his actions and took responsibility for them, his defense attorney detailed how Brandenburg's life had spiraled prior to the incident with a messy divorce, mental and emotional health issues, a sense of disillusionment with work, and the stresses of the pandemic. But his former employer expressed anger at his actions. Dr. Michelle Blakely, president of Advocate Aurora Health in Grafton, gave a statement in court where she explained how the vaccines were viewed as a light at the end of the tunnel for healthcare workers who had spent months on the front lines of the pandemic. Brandenburg's actions, Blakely said, have left an impact on hospital staff who are still recovering and rebuilding confidence after an event that absolutely devastated the organization. Government prosecutors asked for 51 months, but the judge in the case said he considered Brandenburg's guilty plea, lack of criminal record, and other factors that ultimately led to the 3-year sentence that the judge said was just but not excessive. Can't agree. Should have been more. Government prosecutors already read that. Sorry. In this case, it sounds like the judge took into consideration a lot of different factors. Julius Kim, a lawyer and legal expert, told CBS 58. I think that the judge saw how things shook out. He saw how no one was actually harmed by the vaccines, but you have to balance that with the fact that 500 doses that potentially didn't go to people. Yeah, I find that so strange. Why are we judging a crime based on how effective he was at what he wanted to do? His intention was his intention, period. In addition to the term of imprisonment, the judge ordered Brandenburg to serve 3 years of supervised release to pay approximately $83,000 in restitution to the hospital. Brandenburg also has a state case related to the incident that's pending. Oh, good. Advocate Aurora Health sent CBS 58 the following statement. With safety always at our top priority, we continue to move forward after the despicable actions of this individual. Since the incident, our successful vaccination program has continued with more than 700,000 doses administered to date. And the dropping COVID-19 numbers show how important the vaccines have been in moving us towards the end of the pandemic. The vaccines are safe and effective, and we remain fully committed to doing our part to distribute them in our communities. What a dumb asshole. What was his intention? To destroy vaccine doses so people didn't take them because he thought they were some conspiracy, deep state, Bill Gates microchip bullshit.
Hello, everyone. Good to see everybody here. Marky Rollos, Iron FE, Trump. That's who we're going to talk about first. Kurt Cooper, Jacob Law. Good to see you, buddy. Tex Murphy, Kim Go 05, Eileen Kaufman. Hello, hello. Tex Murphy, Crypto and Coffee, and Snopes, another. But let's see. We got anybody else who reports it? The disappointing downfall of Dr. Deborah Birx.
Hannah's gonna get DMCA'd for Rob Schneider's Carrot movie. This is Mr. Thrive and Survive. This is a thing where he's talking about the claim that Trump will return to the presidency in August, which isn't going to happen.
That was bad.
Yeah, we can go over the bingo sheet. No one still won. We're at 3 hours, 20 minutes, and no one won. Reptoids, aliens, ancient wisdom, numerology, vampires, thinly veiled anti-Semitism, satanic child abuse. Hannah mentions Hot Pockets cheese. Someone demonstrates a poor understanding of Eastern philosophy. Spurious symbology as evidence. Illuminati Freemasons, and satanic ritual child abuse.
Back in December. She was deep, just as deep. Well, she was deep state, not as deep state as. I gotta be careful what I say, right? We had another doctor on the task force somewhere, and I heard he was really deep state. So here's what we're going to do tonight. We'll talk a little bit about this, any subject you got. I've been running all day. I got here just in time to post. I guess it was about a half hour in advance that I was coming on tonight. Then I had to do other stuff before the post, before I started, so I don't have much ready or anything ready for you guys. And I'm only probably going to go for an hour for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't sleep last night, barely. And I had to get up early this morning and help somebody.
God, all the conspiracy people are being so boring today. I'm sorry, everyone. That's probably good. Let me see if there's a cleanse or something we could do. Deep state on bingo. That was probably mentioned, sure. Deep state. Deep state. Drink. Did Call mention the gay agenda? Oh, Call for, or not Call. Red Letter Media did that Dracula movie. I'll watch that later. It was just mentioned. Sure, we'll do gay agenda then. Gay agenda on the bingo. Just so we can get someone a bingo. Tellurian Katrin, let me see your sheet. Tellurian Katrin said they have bingo first. Sorry, PK. Just paste it in chat. Yeah, the link to your page. Gay agenda. Yep, sure. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. Tellurian Katrin. Let me write your name down on my list. One sec. Saved. And can you feel the brr, 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 brr. Mike Mack says, are Simba and his wife brother and sister or cousins? I would think, based on how actual lion prides work, maybe half siblings. Oh my god, Nick DeRamio did Smart House. I love him and Smart House. I don't know what to watch. The worst reviewed seafood restaurant in his state? Sure.
You come out here to film the worst reviewed seafood spot in my state. And, yeah. First thing first, y'all. First thing first, before you even get started. Do you see what I see?
Is it Reuben?
Do you? I'm gonna hit you a couple angles. Do you see what I see?
Oh, there's a hair.
Do you see it? Amazing. Amazing. Not like that, son.
You went to a seafood restaurant and you bought a Reuben? It's kind of weird.
Not like that on the Reuben. Do you see it again? Do you see it moving? Do you see the hair? Do you see the hair in my food here? You do know I'm not eating it.
Daddy Sume says, oh my god, I love Smart House. I love that movie. It's so bad, yet I love it. It honestly holds up pretty well for a Disney Channel original movie. LeVar Burton directed it.
Right, you know that, right? But this is going to be the opener of our video. How can I review something when there's hair in my food, kid? Like, not like that, Daddy.
Maybe I'm disgusting, but if I saw that, and maybe it's because I worked in the food industry too. I worked in a kitchen, so I know people are gonna touch shit, and I'd probably just yank it and eat it. I don't know. Maybe I'm disgusting. I'd be like, oh, gross, a hair. Boop, boop, boop.
Not like that. Not like that. Thousand Island is there. Plenty of sauerkraut on mine, as you guys can see. Thick Reuben action, rye bread. Slightly soggy due to, of course, the sauerkraut, due to the Reuben. Flavorful because that Thousand Island is putting in work. Swiss cheese action.
Says, as someone who has eaten food from dumpsters during my homeless days, a hair is nothing.
The best Reuben? Yeah. No. But decent enough for a 3-piece. Decent. At a seafood spot, mind you, of all places, getting a classic Reuben. Just hopefully yours doesn't have hair in it. That's enough of that. Oh, you're literally on a small little boardwalk out here. Nice little exterior dining for individuals, families that want to come in. Little date action. I can see that, you know, kind of right off the water, if you kind of like those views. But let's get into the salmon, shall we? All right, got some carrots up in here too. The salmon is looking right, looking like it's been flavored up with a little bit of love. And the mashed potatoes, like this is gonna be my little combo right here. I don't necessarily care for the extra love. They can keep the extra love, but this is the love that your boy needs right here. Yeah. All right, y'all.
Smart House did have some good dussy. Oh God. I can't tell if he's okay. It's looking like he's not feeling it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Ooh. That right there, that's... I like my salmon to be seared up. There's no sear on the salmon whatsoever. More on the mushy side. Real mushy for consistency. Like, not even that
John
fresh
the Joker,
break.
thanks for following.
mean, I see the butter love on it, and I'm getting a little hint of that fish flavoring, but it just needs a better sear for a light crisp. It needs better seasoning going on. Let's see what's up with these mashed potatoes, baby. Why they lukewarm?
All right, let's raid someone. Thanks everyone for coming to the stream. I had a lot of fun today. I hope you did too. Sorry, some of the videos, especially near the end, got a bit boring. Sorry. Wait, Hal Sparks is on Twitch? What?
Currently already dealing with.
What happened in 2020 is about the same thing that happened 100 years ago.
Oh, okay, so basically, the chop is the same as the Tulsa massacre.
That's what we gonna do about 2020. Wait 100 years before we talk about it, huh?
Well, no, I mean, obviously we had an election and we got rid of the dude who was president when it happened.
Yeah. Now, according to Jim Crow, Joe, and I'm going to tell it the way he told it. What he said, a young black male teenager was accused of attacking a white female teenager.
Right, that's the story. And this isn't Joe Biden telling the story.
And he was thrown in jail.
Daddy Sume says, okay, I'm getting ambushed. Time to fuck up some clanners, daddies, dominators, military solutions made convenient, now with minimal collateral damage. Have fun. Alright, enjoy this stream.
No, it doesn't.
Because look at Antifa and Black Lives Matter.
Did it work?
Yeah.
I can't raid this channel,
I will
why
say
not?
That,
What?
Lame.
You have to be following to raid?
White mob in the
Or does he
100
just
years
not
ago
allow raids?
with
That's kind of
rivals.
sad.
It's ever so slightly different than people marching saying Black Lives Matter. I think it would be.
Here's a link in the chat. Go to his
massacre
stream anyway, because I used to watch this guy on
1,000 armed.
He was on like various TV shows at one point. So manual raid. Go to these links.
As a matter of fact, that might have been the one thing. Good God.
They don't get the story right, or they just go off their own intellect.
He was on VH1 a lot, yeah. And it looks like he's making fun of QAnon people, which I appreciate. Yeah, he was on the I Love the 80s stuff.
Yeah, but I heard that they're talking about some reparations. I keep hearing that word. But here's the deal. What's the deal? If the left won't reparations,
Again, here's the link in the chat. I'm going to end the stream here in a second, so go to this guy's stream.
Because all of this mess was put in place by the Democrats.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
So,
Adios.
The white Ku Klux Klan